Wait, let me finish. You're actually making me rage
saying
here.
let you finish?
You're making me rage here, bro, inside. And I'm trying to hold it back.
I was being quiet, but now I'm being loud. Every time I was talking, you're interrupting.
I let you finish.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Smash Brothers podcast. I'm Leo. Here we got JR. And Shibz over there.
What up, guys?
And we're here to bring you anime and gaming news and also keep you entertained as well. Have a bit of discussion. And today we got some interesting topics. One of the topics is going to be about difficulty and if games should be welcoming to people. So we're going to go through that in a bit. But also we got a bit of a surprise topic to just revisit and think about the future in some of our favorite animes. So stick tuned. I hope you guys enjoy that moment as well. But let's get into this. Alright guys, our 12th podcast. How you guys doing, Mr. J?
Good, man. I'm good. Podcast day. I'm always saying podcast day because it's a gas day, fam.
Yeah,
it's a gas day, bro.
I mean, to be fair, this is the only time we've been able to link up, really, innit? Like, this is the only time we actually get to see each other properly for a solid amount of time.
I mean, I've been seeing you on cam when in some review sessions.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but it's
Cam.
not...
I'm joking.
Pause on that one. Pause on that one, bro.
I don't do that stuff.
I don't know what you're hoping to see there because we know what we're doing, but I don't know what you're hoping to see.
I know what you're talking about, but you Cam.
But yeah, no, like, I mean, to be fair, it's just mainly because we got... life is just
Yeah,
life,
true,
innit?
life is life.
I guess.
Life is laughing, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So...
And how about you then, Shibz? How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, you know. I'm sort of adjusting because obviously, I'm hoping everyone's been watching, obviously, with the reviews and stuff. I haven't been around a little bit because I had some health issues. So, like, this week was my first week back in the office at work and everything. So body's just adjusting. I'm not even gonna lie, right? Yeah, my body is struggling because I'm so tired. Having to wake up again so early has been a killer for me. I can't lie, because man was enjoying that life of being able to work from home and that also meant that I was playing fucking wilds till stupid hours and then just waking up and then just being at home still.
Getting to work and then get back to wilds as soon as you're finished.
Yeah,
brother.
You know what I mean?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. When I was working from home, the minute it was my lunch break, laptop closed. I used to get a few hunts in. It was enjoyable. I can't do that anymore. It's so sad.
I don't remember. That's what me and the guys used to do for Smash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Bring out the Smash. And
exactly. Bro, I used to join you on that when I was at the time.
For real, man.
When
the Switch 2 comes, innit?
Switch 2
on the go, play Wilds on the go.
You know what? It's actually soon. It's like I think 2 weeks until they do the reveal.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the full like
reveal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very interesting, actually. I can't wait.
Yeah, man.
What's up with that size?
I'm just a bit skeptical. That's all it is.
Are you skeptical? Let us know.
I lie, bro.
It's just Nintendo, bro.
Elaborate on that.
Yeah, I guess I hear you on that.
Bro, I don't even need to elaborate because I know you feel similarly about it.
It depends what you're saying. That's how I want to know.
I just feel like I just pray that they don't for better words, like stalk on our what's that nostalgic factor of like loving Nintendo because of who they were, and everything that they've given us in previous years, right? And they just give us something that isn't what we would hope for. In terms of like the power,
I knew you were gonna go power. That's what.
Like in terms of that's my main worry. I'm gonna be real. That's my main worry with the console.
It's gonna be a portable console. The power isn't gonna be what we want. I'm not sure what you're looking for.
Look, I'm not saying I want it to be the same sort of like hardware that PlayStation and Xbox have, because as you said, it's a portable console, so I can accept that. But I want it to be somewhere in a space where it's like, at least it's using more modern technology to give us something that we all know that they can give us.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
And not underperform in that sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Like in that aspect of.
I mean, I got a couple of questions. So what is underperforming in your mind?
I mean, so I don't know a lot about tech in the sense of like the parts and how it
needs an RTX 5090.
Yeah, so things like that. Like obviously,
don't say because you don't know.
No. What I mean,
AI
from what he's saying, like because I've heard you man talk about it, because obviously you recently
cost thousands of pounds.
No, but hear me out. Just let me finish.
I'm just saying you said
because
64 gigs of RAM.
Are you gonna let me finish?
Yeah, go
because
for it. It's
you
funny.
recently built your PC, so obviously I know I've heard you talk about these parts and things like that and how much they cost. So just based off of the price, I can understand how strong these parts are gonna be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, a monetary value can give you an understanding of how good the performance of this part is, what it should be doing. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? So I'm not expecting it to be some fucking top of the range like PC. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Right?
the question was, what are you expecting?
I just, bro, when we first saw the Switch, when they did the video release of what it's going to look like and everything, right? My worry was, oh my God, it looks nearly the same as the Switch. Like the Switch 2 looks nearly the same thing as the Switch,
Pretty
right?
much, yeah.
And my worry is that they haven't really changed much from it in terms of the hardware and how it's going to perform. I just want it to be better than that one. That's the first thing. And then secondly, like, I just want it to be able to run games and look and the performance that it gives better than what it was. That's all it is. That's all I want.
Okay.
Like, because for example, the OLED Switch, when it, obviously before it came out, like, we thought it was going to be like a Switch 1.5, like, where at least it would improve something in terms of performance. But all they gave us was a fucking, a HD screen or whatever it was. I don't know.
OLED screen.
Oh, OLED too. Yeah, sorry. My bad. And that's all they gave. Like, that's all it was. And it was slightly bigger in terms of the screen size was a bit bigger. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, again, because I'm not into tech like you men are, right? But I just hope that it gives us more power. So it improves on the way the games are going to look, how they're going to run, they're going to be smoother, and all of those sort of aspects of the hardware.
I have about 3 things to say. If I remember the third one, get to it.
Okay.
But the first thing is definitely going to be an increase. I mean, internal, just because of the outside of how it looks, doesn't mean you know the internals. Like these other consoles,
100%.
They just change the externals to highlight it's a new console.
Yeah.
But this is the similar form factor. So the form factor is going to look the same, but the internals are going to be much stronger.
That's what I'm hoping for, but I can only take from face value what I've seen.
Yeah, and that's why this event will be able to show you particularly what's been changed.
Of course. Right. So that's why I am looking forward to seeing this and what they've got to say. But I think I've got a valid reason to be skeptical about it because of what they've done in previous years.
I think it's more of what they didn't do by coming up with a stronger Switch.
No, but that's the same point that I'm making. You just reworded it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So you saying that is you proving me right even more so. Because you've just said it you've literally just dressed it up in a different way.
Nova versus Shibz.
That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't argue against me in that point by just rewording what I've just said.
All right, the way I said that, fair enough. Fair enough. But this is unprecedented for Nintendo because they've never stuck with the same form factor in the past maybe 20 years.
Facts.
So this is a different territory. The Switch
facts.
showed so well. That's why they're sticking with the same Switch. This is actually what people wanted. They didn't want them to reset like they did with the GameCube to the Wii to the Wii U, the Wii U to the Switch. They want it to be a similar form factor going forward, but make it better. And this is going to be better. How much better it is, we don't know yet.
Because, which I agree with you, because obviously when the Switch came out, prior to it, they always had a full-on console where you plug into the TV, and then they always had a handheld separate.
Yeah.
Right? Because we had when the Wii U came out, or the Wii even, sorry, we had the DS? Yeah, the DS.
Screen.
Exactly. So we had the DS and then the Wii. And then with the Wii U, then they just brought out another fucking bigger DS.
Yeah.
And then obviously when the Switch came
3DS.
out, they just basically combined the two together.
Yeah,
and then that's what it was. Yeah. Right? Like, you can agree with me on that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so now, obviously, as you said, this is the first time they're sticking to the same sort of concept.
factor,
Yeah. And they're just hopefully going to improve on that. But my worry, and this is not just based off of the console, but based off of the games that they've released as well, because they literally prey on their fucking fans and customers on that nostalgic factor. Because,
what do you mean by that, though?
Because
their games, Nintendo's games are always good.
I'm not denying that it's not.
You said they're preying on nostalgia, so that's incentivizing
brother. Listen to me.
Gotta sort of.
Yeah, it makes it sound like they're not good, but the nostalgia makes people want to buy their games.
Yeah, but then with those games,
That's how I feel about Mario, man.
Exactly. That's what I was just gonna bring that up. And then look at fucking Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, bro. What did they change?
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, I'll give you. I mean,
because that's one of their biggest IPs.
I've said it. I don't like Tears of the Kingdom.
And no, I know you have. I know you have. But I'm not talking about just from your perspective. I'm talking about from the whole, like, general, everyone looking at it. I'm not talking about just your perspective here, bro. I know you obviously will only be able to speak from your perspective, but you have to look at it in the sense that, bro, from Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, I'm using this as an example, but there are others as well.
Do you have any other examples? Pokemon, that's been well documented that Pokemon is a tragedy.
But you wanted another example and I gave it, and now you're trying to you're trying to make an excuse.
That's true. But there's many games that Nintendo constantly actually make
Mario
Odyssey was a big game.
Mario Kart, bro. What have they changed? The fucking new Mario Kart that they bought us and gave us was literally the same thing from the previous title. How can you defend that?
I'm not defending that.
No, but it does sound like it though.
I'm saying that not all Nintendo games are just based on nostalgia. I'm not saying some of them aren't.
But you can't, brother, please, stop gassing.
I said, brother, you know.
Just stop gassing.
Bro, I said
wait, let me finish. Because you're actually making me rage here. You're making me rage here, brother, inside. And I'm trying to hold it back.
I was being quiet, but now I'm being loud. Every time I was talking, you're interrupting.
I let you finish. I let you finish.
Okay, I'm the ref.
Listen, listen to me here, right? Look.
You get your few minutes.
Look, let me just tell you this, right? Yeah, because you've literally made me lose my train of thought because you actually are making me rage because the way you're trying to defend them. Because in previous episodes you've criticized Nintendo as well, and now you're trying to defend them here. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is this, bro. Yeah, is that Nintendo's past history, like their track record, has been they've been so fucking lazy. They've been so lazy, and you've said this as well, and I get that you want, and I know you love Nintendo. We all do here because of the nostalgic factor of how they used to make us feel with the games they gave us and the consoles they brought out. The GameCube being one of the greatest consoles that they ever brought out. Like, when that game console came out, the way it competed against PlayStation and Xbox, was crazy. I love that they did that, right? But then after the GameCube, what have they done, right, to actually be innovative, where they've done something like after the GameCube, the Wii. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's amazing what they did. Like, but it felt.
I feel like jumping in myself.
No. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Go on.
Hear me out.
Right now, I fully disagree with you.
In terms of the impact of what it did, not just with the console, but I'm talking about the games. I'm talking about all of it, not just the console.
Yeah, don't worry.
Right?
I'm about to. We can jump in.
Yo, jump in when you're ready.
Definitely.
What I'm trying to say is because of. After the GameCube, they gave us the Wii. Amazing, because it was a massive hit because of the remote and how you play the games and everything. It was great, right? But it was very short-lived because the novelty of it ran out fairly quickly.
Short-lived, the Wii.
In terms of console span, like when you get like PlayStation, like I'm only using PlayStation as an example. You can look at it from the Xbox, whatever, right? A lot of the things that they try, even PlayStation especially, they even tried to follow the Wii with the remote thing. Do you remember when they had that remote, with the bulb at the end and everything? They tried it. It didn't work for them because the Wii literally locked that niche down for themselves. They did it so well. Amazing. I rate that. But what I'm trying to say is the consoles, I hope and I pray that it is amazing because I want it to be. I want another company to be there to compete with PlayStation now, because I don't think that Xbox sold very well compared to the PlayStation or whatever it may have been.
I feel like your minutes is coming to an end, fam.
But I'm saying, back, because I lost my train of thought and I tried to get back on it, but I can't because I was raging.
You're breathing right now, but yeah.
All I'm saying is I just hope they don't let us down, because they let us down so much for such a long time. That's it.
All right, bro.
Leo?
A lot of stuff you said is kind of rubbish, I can't lie. Because when it comes to innovation, Nintendo is literally the only one innovating throughout the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch. They literally leading it. Like you said, no, wait, I'm talking to exactly. They literally lead everything. Why do you think they call it the PS1, PS2, PS3? It's because they don't innovate. They don't. They just upgrade graphics. That's literally what they do. But the fans love that, and that's good. That's what they want. That's fine. Now, when it comes to Nintendo, when it came to the GameCube was a flop, massive flop, biggest flop they've ever had. And that was the problem. That's why they switched to the Wii. The Wii was a long-lasting system. People are still playing the Wiis right now. Games are still coming out for the Wiis. I think they only stopped coming out, I think maybe like a year or two ago, because that's how big the Wii was. It's massive. When it comes to core gamers, yes, maybe graphical, there wasn't games for us. But there was loads of games on the Wii that were crazy outside of what you normally play. Xenoblade came out, that Sin and Punishment came out, Smash came out, Zelda came out. Yeah, late one in the life cycle. We had two Mario Galaxies. Oh, both of them 10 out of 10s. Literally 10 out of 10s across the board. Some of the highest rated games of all time. I think you're mixing up with the Wii U. The Wii U was short-lived. That was about 4.5 years. Right. That one was a flop. That one is a flop. Not a flop.
I probably was mixing
probably a bit bigger of a flop than the GameCube, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, Nintendo. All right. You're saying to me, of course, I know Nintendo's faults. All I was saying is that Nintendo has a lot of good things that they've done, but there've been a lot of faults as well. There's been so many games. What's it called? Astral Chain, Bayonetta,
Banger.
Smash, like we talked about.
Banger.
The first Breath of the Wild was sick. It was revolutionary. Banger. It changed a lot of stuff. Xenoblade has been sick. There's been so many good games. Yes, there's been Mario Kart, which is a shame. They just redid that one from the Wii U. I wish they did a new one. They haven't. I think they're doing a new one now. My Odyssey was an amazing game at the start. There's been so many good games coming across that Nintendo have innovated with, but there are some games that they have stuck to what they know. But all companies do that. Every single company does that. It's not just Nintendo. It's literally the trend throughout companies. Nintendo's doing it the most. Nintendo's making the most of it because their IPs are so known. Sony even said they wish they followed Nintendo and making good IPs that are long-lasting, because they don't have good IPs that are long-lasting, because they didn't think about that. They didn't. They wish they could be Nintendo, but they're not. That doesn't mean I'm glazing. That's literally what they've said.
I'd never said you were glazing.
Don't interrupt me, but that's literally what they said.
I'm just agreeing with what you said.
I don't want to hear no green either. I don't want to hear that.
What the fuck?
You got raging, guys.
Yeah, you got me raging. I was here quiet.
I like hearing it. I want them to be raging.
I'm all about truth when it comes to this. Yeah, fair enough. Nintendo fucked up. They have 100%. They have. I'm not gonna lie. But they've done a lot of good stuff in the Switch times, even though I didn't like it. I wish they came out with a Switch 1.5, like you said. I wish they did. They didn't. COVID pulled back a lot of their plans because they were planning on doing it. There wasn't enough chips going around. It would have been a catastrophe on them financially. And you saw how much of an issue it was for PlayStation 5 and Xbox at the start. So they made the right decision not doing that.
Yeah.
Now, if COVID didn't happen, it would have been a different history. And that would have been great. But it did happen, and it sucks for them, and it sucks for us that we didn't get something better. Now, is the Switch 2 going to be as powerful as we want? Ideally, probably not. But it's going to be, I hope it's going to be strong enough to compete when it comes to technology. Now, from what we've seen at least, it is going to be good. A lot of companies are excited. And a lot of companies are literally waiting to release a lot of stuff on Nintendo Switch 2, as they did on Nintendo Switch 1. A lot of companies came a bit later on. So I think Nintendo, what they need to do, Pokemon stuff, that Pokemon company needs to fix their shit. Nintendo own a third of Pokemon Company. The other is Niantic, which is the other third, and the other third I think is Pokemon Company themselves. And
so what is Game Freak within that then? Are they
Game Freak's under the Pokemon Company umbrella?
Okay.
Yeah, and so Nintendo gets a say, but in the end, I don't know how. Of course, I don't know the business.
It's just a third, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a third. So
and it's not a majority. So yeah,
it's
of
not.
course,
but Pokemon, they need to fix that shit. Obviously, they have to. It's ridiculous.
It's probably the biggest, one of
franchise
the in the world.
Yeah,
it
is the biggest. So they need to fix it 100%. Now, when it comes to Breath of the Wild, it's a shame because Breath of the Wild was so revolutionary. Tears of the Kingdom isn't as much as we would like. But companies do that, and it's annoying that they do that. I wish they didn't. As you know, I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom that much. I didn't even finish it.
Yeah.
Because your biggest complaint about that was the combat.
Yeah, the combat's the same.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the same, I would have beat that game and I would have had a lot of fun. But it's
and be honest, right? Yeah, it didn't look any different. I
wasn't expecting it to look different. It's the same console.
Yeah.
The Breath of the Wild was literally pushing the Switch to its maximum literally day one.
What I mean is that I didn't expect it to be looking different in the sense, because what I wanted to follow up after saying it not looking different is, if it's not going to look different, at least improve another aspect of the game. But they didn't do that, apart from adding in, and which in my opinion, I think it made it worse, because I don't think this was in, if I remember correctly, in Breath of the Wild, is when you pick up a weapon, it doesn't break in Breath of the Wild. But in this game,
does break. I don't know what game you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was the big problem with Breath of the Wild.
Okay, yeah.
Hoped that Tears of the Kingdom it wouldn't be.
Wouldn't break, but
I'm getting it mixed up around. Yeah. but they still carried that on. And the one thing that I think a lot, not just yourself, but I think a lot of people weren't happy about was the combat in Breath of the Wild.
I actually don't know how many people talked about it apart from me, to be honest.
Because either way, that was something that they could have improved on massively.
they should have. Like,
and they should have,
I think,
but they didn't.
I think Nintendo fell under big open world syndrome. But these companies that bigger is better. So they open up the up place, they open up the bottom place.
Yeah.
But it's just more of the same, but on more levels.
On a different level. And
rather
that's
than expanded the experience itself, which is what I want. And
which I think a lot of people would have loved.
And even before we came here, I was talking to JR about Monster Hunter. I'm fine with a concise experience as long as it's crafted specifically to me. That's personally what I like about games. It doesn't have to be grand. I don't need it to be massive. I just need it to be enjoyable all the time. When I'm playing it, I'm in there, I'm having fun. And it doesn't have to be, it can just be me and a boss on a plane. I'm fine, I'm cool. As long as there's variety and how many I can fight.
Yeah.
And it's not, I guess, easy. That's the main thing for me.
Which we're going to be talking about later.
That's the main thing for me. So, we don't really need to be fighting.
No. But going back to the original point of what I was saying is like my worry is just basically because I'm not looking at it just from the aspect of the console, but I'm also looking at the aspect of the games because I just hope that we don't get the same sort of pattern that we got of. It just looks like they've rehashed the game for the brand new generation.
You know what?
That's all it is.
Nintendo is the company who does that the least out of these big companies in modern day era.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well. Like.
To be fair as well, you got...
Because I know you're thinking about Breath of the Wild as your main point, right? That's the main thing I'm hearing anyway. But it's Zelda. Okay, it was meant to be for the Wii U, but it came with the Switch to come save Wii U's ass, right? But then having that on the Switch, like, and it's already pushing it to the limit. Yeah? Like
That's true, yeah.
How can we improve on the same console? But if we're talking about from the previous console to the next console, come on, fam.
Oh no, yeah,
come on, fam.
Yeah, it was revolutionary.
That's what we're really talking about.
I loved playing Breath of the Wild, being able to explore the world and everything like that, because it was one of the first like open world games where you literally had so much freedom, much freedom. Like, and then you could physically climb anything you wanted in that game.
Everything, bro.
Yeah.
And if you compare that to the previous Zelda, do you know which the previous was?
Skyward Sword.
Damn it, bro. I was gonna give him the test.
Is it Skyward Sword?
My bad.
Because it's proven the point that your knowledge of Nintendo isn't as deep as you think it is.
I never claimed that it was.
But if it's not, then you shouldn't be talking so much.
Some of your claims that you're saying is brazy, fam.
Yeah.
Brazy. Nintendo's an innovative. What? It's probably one of the most innovative companies out there, fam, in terms of gaming.
In terms of the hardware, okay.
It's both. But the thing is, the hardware is not as strong as you want. That is
the only thing, bruv. The only thing.
And that's why I was asking you, how strong are you expecting it to be? I needed the concise to understand what you're basing all this on.
All I'm saying is, I just hope that we like I said, I don't need it to be PlayStation levels or Xbox levels because you can't have that on a handheld console. But I want improvement from the Switch. Yeah. I'm praying that it's not going to be like, and again, because I can't use terms that I don't know because of the tech terms.
I'm going to tell you simple. It's 100% guaranteed it's going to be stronger than the Switch.
Yeah.
I hope
that's a given. It's not even like a hope so. It's a given, bruv.
Right. But the question is, how strong do you want it to be? That's why I asked you.
That is the question, bruv.
That is the question.
Because I've always said, if you was to ask me that, I would look at you and be like, I want it to at least compete with the Steam Deck.
Yes.
If it can compete with the Steam Deck, happy days.
Yeah.
Because look at some of the games that Steam Deck is running. Crazy.
That's what I mean. That I can agree with.
I'm not even using technical terms, bro. I'm giving you a whole console to compare it to.
Because I don't really know much about the Steam Deck because I've never really looked into that.
You need to know more to have a strong opinion.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is from what I know, like I say what I know, but like from what I've heard and what I've experienced with the Switch, I just hope that from what I've seen Nintendo do, just not with the consoles, but in terms of games as well, I just hope they don't raise the hopes of the fans and then let them down. That's all I don't want.
But even games, you haven't played that many games outside of Smash and Monster Hunter. That's the problem.
Yeah, bro.
Pokemon. I've played.
Pokemon's the same company.
But to be fair, here's the thing, right? Yeah, the thing is the games that have come out on Nintendo, right? Obviously, the core games that come out are their own IPs, right? They're very rare. I say rarely. Like, there's not a lot of people that play games that aren't Nintendo owned on the Switch, or I'm using the Switch because that's been their most recent console, right? Like for example, right, yeah, I was a big Overwatch player, right?
This is on the Switch.
It is, but it runs like a piece of shit. It genuinely runs so badly because I've come across people when I used to play on the PS4, Overwatch, right? Yeah, bro. When you had someone playing on the Switch, you could tell that they were playing on the Switch.
I think the only thing you're able to tell is by latency, and
yes,
but that's internet. That's not the console itself.
And okay, fair enough. But I've also actually tried playing it on the Switch, right? Yeah.
You have to buy it.
Huh?
You have to buy it. Do you have it?
Not on my own Switch.
Okay.
But I've played it on the Switch. Cousin, he tried to play it on the Switch because he wanted to play with me, bro. So I went around his, yeah, and I was trying. At one point, I was like, yo,
handheld style or what?
No. I'm just doing this as a controller, but like on it still doesn't run great.
Right. I was gonna say, like, is it a wide connection? Is it this? Is it that? Because online games, internet connection is a.
He's got decent internet. It was. I don't know. I don't think it was wired. It was just Wi-Fi in it. But even on a PlayStation, right? My console was not wired into my. It's not wired into my router or anything like that, and it still ran great.
Right. So I'll give you that. Some well, that's a weird one because you're saying people don't play third-party games like that on Switch. But I mean, the third-party games are still there. This console has the most. No,
I'm not saying that they're not there.
Let me finish. Can I let you finish? This console has the most third-party games that Nintendo have ever had on any system.
2, yeah, or the Switch.
The Switch 1 has the most that they've ever had in any system. The most third-party games, and besides that, there are loads of Nintendo games that I know you would have enjoyed that you didn't play.
But did they run well?
They did run well. Astro Train is a big game that won well and played sick. You never even tried it. There's so many games code on Switch that you just didn't play. That's why it's annoying me that you have these large ideas, but you just don't know what you're talking about.
I'm still gonna make my claim of I just hope that it's better than what we had.
Yeah, it's gonna be better than what we have. That's the truth.
Bruv, you say that, it just doesn't make sense. You saying that to me, bruv. It doesn't make any sense, bruv.
I can still make the claim of I hope it's still better than what we had because, in terms of hardware, and this is not just from me, right? It lacked, the Switch 1 lacked it compared to I can't really compare it again to a full-on console because they're two it's a handheld in itself as well. Yeah. And it is the first of its kind where you can have it both as a docked and undocked, like, which is amazing.
Innovated.
Yeah. all right. Yeah. I just hope like my hope to it and what
okay, but
I don't know how to word it.
Your hope is going to be reached, but I don't know what you're actually hoping for in power sense. But it's going to be stronger. Like that's guaranteed, 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
The Switch 1 was running on 2015 tech. The Switch 2 is going to be at least 2023 tech at least probably. So it's going to be way stronger than the Switch 1. How strong, we don't know.
Okay.
So,
but that's what we're going to find out.
Yeah. Now, if your conversation was you don't know about the feature set, like the features you can do on the console, because Switch 1 had like no features apart from 2 themes, black and white, and features are going online, and that was it. It didn't have features. If you said that, I'll be okay. Yeah, sure.
Did it have a? I can't even remember because I never used it.
They got folders like 5 years in, and folders aren't even that good.
Did they have an internet browser on there as well?
No, they didn't have internet browser. So if you went that route, then I would have been like, okay, fair enough. Let's see what there is. But even then, the Wii U had a browser. The Wii had a browser. It's just the Switch didn't have a browser because the Switch OS was so light because the Switch, they wanted to get all the power they could from the console itself to push the juice. In this new console, I think they're going to have a bit more room because I think they're going for, 8 or 16 RAM. I can't remember. I think it's probably 8 RAM. And this is going to give them more chance to actually push what they need in those aspects. So if you're worried about that, I think it's going to be there, but I can't make the claim it's going to be there. I don't know.
The one thing I do hope that they do bring along is so like with any other console, I say any other, I'm going to use Xbox, PlayStation, those two being the two biggest ones, obviously.
Yeah.
Is like media apps. I hope that they have something like that as well because the one thing, because there was a period of time where literally the only console I had was my Switch, right? And the only thing I could really do if I didn't want a game on it was go on YouTube.
YouTube.
And that was it.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, facts. So I hope they have something like that where we can have like Netflix or Disney Plus obviously now, as well as Prime Video and all of that other stuff. Like I hope they bring something along that as well. Like that's one thing that I would love because I feel like they're missing a trick with that as well because they could definitely imagine being able to watch. I mean, obviously you can watch it now with mobiles and everything like that as well, but having a bigger screen where you can game on it as well as then if you feel like, oh yeah, show on Netflix or on Disney Plus or wherever. Like you
So,
could do that as well.
I'm gonna show you. The Switch had Netflix and it had Crunchy.
Oh no, it had Crunchyroll. Yeah, that's
it
true.
had Netflix too. It also had Hulu as well.
Did it have Netflix?
It did. I think they might have stopped that now. A couple years ago.
No, because when I bought and I had my Switch for a few years now, right? Yeah, I swear I tried to look it up and it wasn't there.
I've never tried, to be fair.
It did have it at a period. I think they took it off. But
Yeah, that was before my time then. Yeah,
and it had Hulu as well.
but then okay, so let me ask you
Hulu's
this.
more of an American thing, from what I know.
Let me ask you this. Yeah, so if let's say for example, obviously you're saying that it had it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and you downloaded it when it was on there. When they removed it, did that mean that it was gone for those who had already downloaded it?
Probably could still open it, but it probably didn't work.
Yeah, I'm probably disconnected.
So then it's pointless of mentioning Netflix.
Yeah,
Then.
but the reason I'm saying that is that there's a precedent that's been there before. It's most likely going to be in the Switch 2. To what extent, I don't know yet. But
yeah, like I mean, I just hope that they bring not just obviously we've spoken about the games and everything, and with Nintendo obviously like it's not just them. Like for example, with Pokemon, like they are synonymous. And Nintendo and Pokemon are synonymous, right? Yeah,
it's big.
Yeah, but I hope that like with all the other games as well, they don't keep it similar to what we've seen with the games that in previous titles. Like I hope that there's more to those games now. Like with a much more
Nintendo changed their games more than any other company.
Yeah, we're going back in circles with
no. What I mean
that
is
statement.
What I mean is like with Tears of the Kingdom.
Graphically.
No, not just graphically. But like,
remember when you use Zelda as an example, it's the same
console.
Game
yes,
on
yeah,
the
that's
same
true.
console.
Yeah.
So if you want to use Zelda as an example, compare it to Skyward Sword.
No, but what I'm saying is like in terms of our biggest issue with Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom that we can agree on is the combat, right? But they did nothing to change that. So I'm hoping that they don't do that in the sense of just because they can't upgrade the graphics, yeah. Fair enough. Like I'm not that bothered by that, but like then improve the experience in a different way.
Yeah, but like JR was saying, if you compare Breath of the Wild to Skyward Sword, the games are drastically very, very different.
Yeah, and it's different consoles as well. Like comparing Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom on the same console, I can understand. But if you want to use an example of Switch 1 to Switch 2, which is a console upgrade, let's talk about Skyward Sword compared to Breath of the Wild. Crazy different.
Yeah, if you look at this,
Breath of the Wild was a massive hit for the fact that we had this open world where like we can
exactly because it was a big change, like he's saying.
Am I mad? Am I crazy, bro? This guy's making me go nuts, you know? The Shabrizi effect is getting to me, fam. What the fuck?
Look,
every time you use this example, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, I don't get it, fam. Yeah? Let's talk about Skyward Sword. Man was doing all this on the game with Skyward Sword. Yeah? Now I'm running around.
And with Twilight Princess. Oh, no, that was...
Actually, that was not Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was less.
That was the one that I...
Less, but Skyward Sword, I was... Like, if I'm doing this, Link is doing this as well.
Yeah,
fair.
If you go back from games to game, the innovation is older. It's crazy.
Mad, fam. Right, it's mad, fam. So you keep going about Tears of the Kingdom
was the last Zelda game I played before Breath of the Wild.
Twilight Princess. There you go, bruv.
And that is a massive change, yeah.
Yeah, you compare those two.
Yeah.
The whole aesthetic of that game is crazy different than any other Zelda as well.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that you can jump whenever you want as well, that was the... yeah. But anyway, yeah. Well, I think we haven't even... we're getting way too into it now because
man.
Yeah. But
I feel like we took your surprise topic time, man.
Yeah, sorry. Like
He took your topic.
my thing is I just hope that not just for myself but for all fans, like they're just not let down. That's all it is. That's all I want.
No, that's fair.
Like that's all I want. That's sort of what I was trying to get at because obviously you wanted more specifics, but I tried to give what I knew, but it wasn't enough.
It wasn't, unfortunately.
But that was the point that I was trying to make for fans because Nintendo fans are very loyal to Nintendo.
I mean, all fans are very loyal. There's Sony fans who don't even touch anything at all. Microsoft fans who don't care about shit. It's fans in general.
But but what I'm again like you're not. Let me reword it then. Like Nintendo fans, right? Yeah, and their core base fans are so like extremely loyal to Nintendo in the sense that like they will buy whatever Nintendo will put out, right? Even if it's shit or
it's
what everyone else.
It's exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Really fun.
My closing statement on this is the Switch 2 is going to be stronger than the Switch 1. We don't know how much. The games are going to be there, and I'm guaranteeing you the games are going to be very interesting. What the games are going to be, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no one does really.
No one knows.
Yeah.
But
wait, did they? Did they not show a game? You know when they
only showed Mario Kart.
Okay.
That was it. We don't know anything. So we're going to wait until April, guys. You know, we're going to be discussing it. So come back in April. Come check with us.
Hey, it might get heated the way he just did.
Yeah, I'm gonna slap Shibz up because this guy's pissing me off too much.
This guy actually, yeah, you can try, my friend.
I was actually so quiet, guys. I was talking
Yeah, you was
quietly.
quiet, fam. Next thing you know, I'm like, oh shit, it's getting.
And then he got me riled up. I was like,
this guy's saying like he's quiet, yeah, like he's like that all the time.
No, I wasn't. That's the problem. I wasn't quiet. But I was trying to be quiet, and then you wouldn't let me be quiet.
Look at him trying to be innocent and shit as well. Like he's like that all the time.
That's my problem. I'm trying to highlight the contrast of
then
how
be
I
you,
was.
innit? Don't be not you.
No,
be you that you normally are.
No, because
then.
my energy was low. I was feeling a bit tired. That's why
That's
the drink
a good thing. I brought your energy back up.
I mean, that's why I had to drink downstairs, because I was like, I need a bit of buzz just to make me feel a bit good.
Just a little.
Oh, I didn't even know he did. I didn't even know you had that. You know, I didn't see him sneak that in there.
And then this guy got my adrenaline pumping like crazy. Like,
that's a good thing. Man. That's a good thing.
Insanity. No, it's not good for my blood pressure. Honestly, I could get a heart attack.
Come on, you're a young man. You shouldn't be worrying about the blood pressure right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, come on.
Anyway,
but let's move on to that.
Main topic now?
Huh?
Or main topic now? Or?
Well, no one even asked me how I'm doing.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, it's because we started talking about it and then it just moved to that.
Yeah, well, now I'm pissed.
My bad.
So
I guess you're enraged right now.
Yeah, I'm pissed now.
How's you started a new job in it? How's that?
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
I want to get into the stuff now because we're too much in. We're 36 minutes in.
Damn.
So the actual surprise topic, I wanted to talk about. We've been wrapping up a lot of anime. And we haven't really talked about too much about the aftermath, but one thing in particular I want to talk about was Dragon Ball. And where you guys are hoping for it to go in the future, because a lot of things have been happening in Dragon Ball. And
shit, Dragon Ball, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to expect.
Same.
I'll be so real. I feel like Daima just created like unnecessary controversy, bruv.
In what way?
In the sense that, like, bring in Vegeta, Super Saiyan 3, and then people are trying to look like, how does this fit with Super, which is continuing afterwards. And the whole Super Saiyan 4 situation.
Yeah.
You know?
I think some of the biggest problems now is, I guess we could explain that. Normally we could explain that saying, oh, it's just an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, because they introduced the other universes and stuff.
Yes, those
then you're like,
mentioned.
you can't say that no more.
Nah, it's done now. So now we're like trying to find the pieces to put together to make it make sense.
Yeah, but I don't think the pieces are fitting.
Can I quickly ask something? So you know how you're saying about they introduced the different universes, yeah?
Yeah.
Why are you saying that, like, you can't say the alternative timeline linked with the...
Because it's the way they're presenting it, it's like they want us to think about Super. Because otherwise there would be no point referencing the other universes, referencing the beginning of time, unless they wanted us to reference to Super.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna do that, but then they're also not gonna tie up with Super, then it's like,
what was the point?
What was the point?
What's going on?
And even some of the biggest Dragon Ball reviewers, I've seen titles and videos they're making, asking and wondering about what was the whole point of Daima in the end.
Yeah.
Because even though there was, depends on how you feel about it. Overall, some people enjoyed it more than others.
Yeah.
In the end, in a vacuum, I guess it's just kind of it. Definitely because of the end, there was no cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's it. It was done and sealed.
Yeah, but don't just think of that. Think of what you've known in Dragon Ball, because you've been watching Dragon Ball original. I don't know how far you're on that. So
no, I didn't get too far, man.
That's fine. But from what you know and love of Dragon Ball, what would you like to see more of going forward in the future?
Is that just for him or for me as well?
Let's start with Jay, because he was the biggest critique of
Daima. Yeah, that's
Daima,
true.
Yeah, that's very true. Because I was in my mind, I'm thinking like, my man's gonna keep it canon, right? He's not gonna disturb the flow. We're not gonna really see any transformations. I got proven wrong straight away.
Yeah, we both got proven wrong, to be honest.
Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, or as he likes to call it, Ultra Vegeta 1.
Yeah.
Wait, who says that?
Vegeta
at the end of it when he made a little joke.
Yeah,
I
people
don't
actually
even
call him
remember,
that.
bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ultra
Like,
Vegeta
all
1, come on.
the last couple episodes of Daima, all I can remember is Super Saiyan 4. Like that was the big one in it, obviously. So,
But my thing with, because the thing that I love about Dragon Ball is obviously the Z part,
Yeah.
and that's what I grew up with. It's obviously nostalgia based,
I'm
and
the same in that sense with you as well.
it's the transformations, bro.
Come on.
What? Gohan Super Saiyan 2.
Nah,
Goku
fam,
Super Saiyan 3.
the first time, the first time Goku went Super Saiyan, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, even that moment,
Yeah.
it was epic, fam. It
Even
was
to this
epic.
day, I think that's the most hypest transformation that we've had.
Yeah,
like,
that
do you know what I
moment
mean?
there,
Yeah, that
yeah,
moment is
it
the
was-
most high.
it
Yeah,
was sick. It was
100%. Yeah.
And I feel like after watching superheroes, seeing Gohan,
It was really good. I was actually very impressed.
Yeah,
I know you were really
So-
impressed with it.
It
Yeah.
was.
like I thought, maybe I'm not gonna be too much on it, but nah, bro. If we got to see Orange Piccolo, even Piccolo's doing
Yeah,
transformations.
yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
I don't
Is it,
wanna
is it called Orange? I thought it was
Orange,
golden. Or...
No.
Okay.
He was preferring all this stuff before we even knew about it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm saying it.
Okay, it's fine.
And then BC and Beast go on. I'm like, yeah.
And one of the cool things about the movie was that Piccolo was like the biggest star.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah,
main
which I actually
face in
really
it,
like
yeah.
that. I really like that.
Quick question, because like the movie hasn't been ruined to a certain extent for me because of everything on the internet about it. And like, is the movie sort of about like? I swear, I've seen so many clips of like Piccolo just babysitting Pan, and it's to do with all of that.
At the start, yeah, but it's bad. It's what leads the story, but it's not what the story's about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
basically,
like,
yeah.
it's like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the what causes everything to happen to a certain extent.
In a sense, but not really. You have to watch it.
It's
You
just
have to watch it.
it's almost like the start scene.
Yeah.
Oh, right. It's like one of those little
Yeah,
mini
yeah.
stories that
Yeah,
then
yeah.
leads to the actual main thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
That's pretty much it.
okay.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But sorry, you're
Sorry,
saying, Joe.
Yeah, so for me, afterwards, I'm like, we're already like getting like to crazy levels, bruv. Like we went from like God Key to like Instincts. Like, what's next, fam? I don't know what to expect. I mean, I'd love to see more transformations because I mean these transformations will be getting me gassed. But you know, like we ain't seen that Ultra Ego Vegeta.
That's true.
We didn't hear about none of that. We didn't really see.
That wasn't in superhero movie. The movie.
No,
Oh, okay.
no. You don't see that stuff. Like the manga stuff, man. I want to see some of that manga shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
some of that
Same.
manga
Same.
shit.
One thing I want to say, because I know you want to say something first. Do you want
Yeah.
to?
No. Go.
One thing I want to say, you were talking about Zine and nostalgia. What some things that people say a lot, and even I did back in the day before I went back and rewatched Zine. They were saying it's just the fighting, but I went back and rewatched Z a couple times, and it's just the premise and how the plot unfolds is actually very, very intriguing. It's very cool in Z,
It is.
and I want to see more of that type of mystery. Like, for example, Cell coming down or so mysterious. Who is Cell? What is this?
Yeah, it was so. Yeah, it
Is
was
this in the
mysterious.
movie? You mean?
No,
No,
we're
the
just talking
show.
about Cell
So
Saga.
in general.
Yeah, yeah.
It was crazy. It's so fascinating when I was watching it. It's like, wow, it's not just the fighting, it's the music, it's the tone, it's
Yeah.
everything gets you like into it.
No, it's true.
And then the
It's true.
Frieza saga with adventuring, it's like, oh man, different planet, going through space,
And even-
It was.
land here,
And
It
even
was.
Frieza on his own as a villain, like just not just the way he looks and things like that, but even bro, for me, I remember the first time I heard Frieza's voice, fam, I just thought, nah, this guy's a waste man. Like even
Evil
perfect
waste,
yeah,
man.
he was
Evil waste,
yeah,
man.
yeah, evil one, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
you know what I mean?
Like
Perfect.
and the fact that he had that one move, the what do you call it, the
Death
Death Beam, yes, yeah. And that move on its own, bruv, yeah, just him having this simple little beam, bruv, yeah,
Yeah.
and it just kills you. Like,
dead you off.
Yeah, that even on its own,
Crazy.
like, I remember when watching it as a kid, you were just like, nah, bruv, this guy's an actual
I mean,
top tier
so
dickhead.
for me,
Yeah.
I want to see more of that. I want to see more intrigue, more mystery, and just overall
Yeah.
feeling of what's going on. Super missed that in some regards. When it came to Tournament of Power, I think it was all there, and it was also there with the Trunks arc. But with the Trunks arc, unfortunately, there was mishaps in story, in power scaling, and also just the action in general.
What? So did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? Like, because I remember when it came out and everything, we spoke about it, but like I can only remember bits that we spoke about. Like, you enjoyed like as a villain.
I think Hit's one of the best. He's not even a villain.
It's not a
No,
villain.
well, anti-hero, I guess, to a certain extent. Or...
It's just a guy. He's an assassin.
Yeah,
he has no allegiance.
Yeah.
I think Hit's one of the best characters that have ever existed.
Agreed.
No cap. I think he's amazing.
And
I want to see more of him.
And then what about Jiren then?
I think Jiren had potential, but his backstory is garbage.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
I mean, what they killed his village. Like that's like every Dragon Ball character ever.
Any anime character.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So to be so, I guess, so angry, it's like, well, Vegeta literally his whole race got eradicated.
His whole planet.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
I swear. Yeah.
So it's like, compared to you, like your pain is nothing.
If anything, Piccolo should have been like that as well because Namek got destroyed and then like I swear.
But they all alive now though. So
yeah. That's true.
It's most of Vegeta out of those guys.
Yeah.
But still, it's like compared to him, it means nothing. So Jiren is cool in concept, but the backstory wasn't
great. Yeah.
No. But I love it. I just love his whole demeanor. So sick, and his powers are crazy good.
Yeah.
That's true actually.
So yeah, that's where you stand then with it.
Yeah.
You just don't. Yeah.
I just don't know, man.
Can I ask you this though?
And the other thing is like change. You know, the show has been here from time, fam. From time. So can't be the same as well because some people be like, oh, why is it the same, fam? Like, we need something different, cause. So it's like, yeah, man. I just gotta sit back, relax, and wait.
So can I ask you this then? Yeah. Did your like what you thought of Daima at the start, right? Did your mind change when we got to the end of it?
The end, yeah. Not like going throughout.
No, I'm not asking like when we're going throughout because obviously you're still in that phase of trying to decide what your thoughts of it is. But right at the end, like because we've obviously finished the series now.
Yeah.
Did it change your mind?
As an overall, it's kind of like, okay, maybe not too much. It was just like the last couple episodes. I was like, yo, this is sick, cuz. It's sick. As a show overall, like for me, like, because I've seen a lot of people responding on the internet and like, they're loving this shit, bro. Like, I haven't really seen anyone that's like on my wavelength. Like, everyone's loving this. Okay. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, oh shit, am I the only one? Literally, fam.
Because I know when we were doing the episode reviews, like obviously you were still quite skeptical about it, and like you were quite unsure about where it's leading to and things like that. And it was and I know at the end, like when we were watching, especially when we watched the finale together,
that was
like,
sick.
I think like mostly everyone, well at least from what I'm seeing, can agree that with Daima we've seen that they can do fight scenes really, really well.
It would, especially the Goku versus the first.
Yeah, I think that's still the best
fight.
Yeah,
100%.
Choreography.
Yeah,
that's
the best one.
Yeah. That's the best. So they can do that. We know that. It's building up the plot and also the in betweens and the characters. We need to see how they're gonna do that in the future. A bit better, if they can tie that up, it's gonna be peak Dragon Ball.
It will be, yeah.
That's the thing. Because Super, the problem was, I mean, there was many problems, but one of the problems was that the animation was a big problem. Big. But then there was also plot problems as well and power scaling. Now, I mean, the animation's good. It's just the other things we need
power
to see.
Power scaling is a bit crazy.
Yeah. But when I watch Dragon Ball Superhero, I think, and all the movies, the story's sick.
Yeah, because they don't have to drag this shit out.
No, they don't.
It's like, okay, cool. Hour and a half, maybe we go a bit longer, a bit shorter, but they can just fit in everything perfectly, which is crazy.
Yeah, and when I watched that movie, I'm just like, I want more Dragon Ball. I think I need it.
Yeah. After watching that, I was like, fuck, this is it.
Yeah, because
this is actually
it was so entertaining. The movie was so interesting. And it was about basically kind of nothing in the sense of the grand scheme of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, literally.
Because
Can I ask you something about? So obviously, I know and I agree with you on the fight scenes and everything in Super. Right, they were pretty bad, right? Because it's the whole like all you see is like explosions and like little fucking circles just popping off in the animation and things like that, right? Yeah. Terrible. But in like Dragon Ball Z, sorry, right? Obviously, a lot of the fighting there was just them. You just see their fists. Yeah, it's like moving. But like obviously at that time, that's the thing, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, you would have thought that they would progress now on that because they got the technology now to be able to actually show everything more precisely. And in Daima, I think they fixed that in that sense, and I think they did that really well, especially with that Goku, and even with the Vegeta fight. Like, I know he didn't really throw his fists.
As
He was
much,
just
yeah,
there,
not
like he was
beams.
there doing this while fighting. But like even that fight for me was acceptable.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Now to answer what you're saying, unfortunately, I mean, it's not a Dragon Ball issue. Now Junior's probably realized after I told him a lot of anime actually do this. They don't really show animation properly.
Yeah.
It's just kind of they do stuff and they kind of fake it and then you kind of just accept it.
Yeah,
So it's a common thing. But when it comes to Dragon Ball, because it's so big, yeah, they should have put more effort. The problem with Super is that apparently the window to build up to the production of it wasn't long enough. They were very on a tight schedule. So they were getting people in to do stuff really, really quick. So they didn't get time to actually flesh things out.
Okay.
So I'm hoping
That
in
makes
the
sense,
next
yeah.
thing, they proper make time to build things as best as they can. So we actually get good fights and not just random e-busts.
So you know what you said about the animators not what did you say the wording of it, because I want to get it right. The animators don't do the animations properly or something like that, because you said that you made Junior make
Well, yeah, they don't animate things in a way that you actually see the action. Normally,
like a good example would have been Blue Lock, like the way they did that.
In a sense, yeah, mostly.
Yeah. And by Blue Lock, I mean like season 2, where it was just like literally
you'd see rather than seeing the swing of the kick, you just see the extended leg,
the leg moving. Yeah.
That's
okay.
what you see.
So I just wanted to understand, like, if that's what you meant. Yeah.
And Dragon Ball, they need to do that because seeing that means a lot. Like we've seen Solar Leveling. If it was literally just him swinging and then you see the end, it would be dead. No. That's not happening. You see him going crazy,
actual fighting,
speed, jumping,
for real.
everything. That's what makes when you see Igris and his cloak moving while he's swinging his
Yeah.
sword.
That
looks
is
sick.
good
Yeah.
animation.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
There you go.
And I feel like with Dragon Ball is important because these like martial arts like animes, like that's what makes the anime.
Yeah.
Seeing those fight scenes, or else what's the point, bruv?
And the thing is as well, like in a lot in Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z and onwards, right? Because you didn't really see many energy blasts in original Dragon Ball. I think
So a couple,
yeah,
but not as much.
there's not as much.
Not like Z Star.
Yeah.
No.
So like, but even in Super, like you see more actual physical fighting than you do even see the only time they'll use sort of energy blasts in the fights are the quick ones, not their signature moves like that often. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you just see them do the energy blast more so than anything else. And if they're only going to be showing majority of the fighting being like actual physical hand to hand, yeah, you'd expect them to show the actual fighting, not like back in Dragon Ball Z where because of the technology, all you see is like the fucking fists moving around and
going
shit
around
like
the playground and just doing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they do
Yeah.
more of the showing, and that's one of the things that original Dragon Ball did really well. Maybe it's because of limitations on powers. They really showed the martial arts like very well.
That makes sense.
One of the cool things was you haven't got to the part. It's literally Goku just going around and he's learning different martial arts from different masters and just learning stuff. And you actually see him in some of the fillers. He's actually randomly just doing stuff. And it's actually cool because it makes him tell, oh, this guy's actually learning martial arts.
Yeah, for real.
And it's sick. We don't see that so much in Dragon Ball Z because it's more about powers.
Yeah.
Super didn't do it too much either. So I'm hoping in the future they really lean into the martial arts more. And when they do ki blasts, it's more like strategically.
Yeah.
Rather than just throwing them out and hoping it hits.
Yeah. I mean, when they do use it, it's obviously like, so this is the thing that I noticed whenever they use the ki blast. They'll send out the ki blast to help them close in on their opponent so that they can follow up on it most of the time.
I don't think that's even true, you know. In Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z Pacific, a lot of characters just throw out ki blast and then you see a glass of smoke and then after that, it didn't do much.
I mean,
that's what they do.
I wasn't talking specifically about Dragon Ball Z. I was just talking about from what I remember in some of the fights in Super, like, it did happen, but not often. I'm not saying that they do it like specifically for that reason, but they do like throw out. Just that's the only time that you see energy blasts is the little ones that they send out, and that's about it really. Like you don't get to see them do their big flashy moves that often, especially in Super.
They did a lot of big flashy moves.
No, I'm not saying that they don't do it, but I'm saying like in a fight, you don't see them. So let's say, for example, with I I think Master Roshi's fight with, I can't remember who it was that he fights in the Tournament of Power, the second one, where he's actually there fighting, comes, you know, the big version.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
He does
like,
a Kamehameha.
yeah, he does, but right at the end before he gets knocked out, no, yeah, that's the only time he uses that move. But I don't think he uses it.
I mean, normally in the older ones, that's what they do. They normally use like Kamehamehas and big things for the final or to clash. They don't just randomly throw it out.
I'm trying to remember if they have, like, in Dragon Ball Z. I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z in so long.
They don't normally throw it out. They normally do it as a finisher or because someone else is throwing something, then they're gonna do it. Like, let's say, let's think Vegeta Freeze Goku. The first Kamehameha and Gallic Gun was literally the final thing.
Yeah, that's true.
He didn't fight a Kamehameha before that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Normally it's fists and Ki Blasts. The big things are for finishers.
Yeah.
But I want the Ki Blast to be more strategic. Hopefully, that's what I like.
Yeah.
I think that'll be.
Yeah. There was something that you mentioned that because of how you asked the question of well, like trying to link Daima into canon, like with Super. So it was actually a short on YouTube that I see that come up where they said how, you know, in Daima when Goku transforms, but obviously the way he transforms is with what's his name, Neva. He just comes up in front of him like as if he's an invisible guy to fucking what's his name,
Goma.
Yeah, to Goma, bro. Like, why would Goma not stop Neva right there and then, even though because he's betrayed him right there? Like, you'd have thought that he would interrupt him, like, and not let him do whatever he was about to do to Goku. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But there was a thing that someone said how that would have been for him to link into Super. Apparently, like, that could have been his first time tapping into the God Key, because there was that white glow that he had, didn't he?
Yeah. You're kind of you were stuck on that when we mentioned this a while ago as
well. Like, and I'm not saying that could definitely be a link to it, but it's a possibility in the sense that, like, and I don't know whether I would even want to believe in that.
The problem is definitely this stuff is always it could be, but it could be's don't matter in the grand scheme of canon. Like, it has to be. They need to show us if it is or not. Yeah, because in the end, it's just nothing.
Otherwise, it's hearsay.
We're just theorizing.
Yeah.
And if they haven't done it, they haven't done it. So we just have to wait to show us more.
What I'm saying is what I wanted to ask was what is your take on if that was real? Like, you think that's a good way of them linking it to him?
Nah, I don't think so. It makes no sense. Because
I see, like, the way they've kind of changed Super Saiyan 4 to make it a bit more like the Saiyan God, because he's got like the red hair and shit.
Yeah, I don't like that
kind of glow there. Like, maybe they're trying to link it a bit better. But like Leo was saying, man, unless we get confirmation in there, we're just chatting.
Yeah.
We're just having a conversation.
Even then, it makes no sense because the way they get in the movie and in the show as well, it's because of the links for the 5 Saiyans, giving them the power to unleash the God Key.
Yeah.
If that was the first time, and Shenwan said that's the only way to get it to come out, then all that stuff with Daima and him that being the first time he taps into it doesn't make sense.
Because I was gonna mention that. I was gonna mention that to yourself as well. Like, because it doesn't make sense to me how then what was the point of all of that? All of the gathering the 5 Saiyans to be able to do all of that, because then it kind of breaks the canon that you'd already built for that.
Super Saiyan God, innit?
Exactly.
So
because when I saw that was like, when I saw the short, right? Yeah, that was the first thing that popped into my head, right? And then I even went into the comments of the short.
People probably
to see but no one mentioned it as far as I can remember. But I would have thought someone would have. I mean, I didn't scroll all of the comments because there was loads of them there, innit? I just saw like the top few, and then and I was quite surprised that no one did mention that, because it just wouldn't make. It just wouldn't make any sense, because again, that's a theory. Like, they weren't claiming that short wasn't claiming that is how they're gonna link it, but they were just sort of again theorizing like we are right now. But no one mentioned that as a counterpoint, because that is probably the biggest counterpoint to it, because we already have canon of how he accesses the God Key in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But I did want to ask you, like, because we mentioned this as well, is what is your take on the design of Super Saiyan 4 in this compared to the original design?
I think the arms are pretty damn cool. I find it interesting. The red hair, I think, is okay.
Mm.
I think maybe I know you said maybe the black hair. I think the black hair is more distinct.
I think yeah.
In general.
Me personally, the only thing that I would take from the new design is the arms. Apart from that, right? I still think the original design was better because I think.
I think the arms are weird, bro.
Oh really?
The way the hands come looks so weird. His hand looks wham as fuck.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
But
isn't
do you know what it is? But do you know what it is?
I don't even know, bro.
Do you know what it is? It might be
don't even
because of
know,
the fact that he was in his kid form.
No, even
No,
adults.
adult, he had big
It looked
hands.
Oh,
weird.
in what the original design that it was like that?
No, the
No,
original
no,
design.
the
I'm
new
talking-
design.
We're talking about the new one.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I'm talking about. Like, I find the weird, the hands from the new form look massive.
Yeah.
bro.
Remember when he's an adult, he still
proportion.
had big hands when he was adult in Daima. You don't remember?
Oh yeah, not really, but I'll accept that.
Yeah,
okay,
last
which is
episode,
fair, yeah.
episode 20.
Yeah,
That's just me personally.
That's fair enough. That's fine.
but yeah, I wish they kept the black hair, bro. And I think in the original, in the GT series, he was wearing the yellow, no, on the pants.
I think so.
It
I
was,
don't
wasn't it?
remember the specifics.
Yeah. Unless I'm just creating a vision in my head, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, and I can't even remember what the color was in this one.
Yeah.
Are you gonna look it up? I need
No,
I need
Double check,
confirmation of that
Super Saiyajin.
because and in Daima, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it was yellow.
yeah. And in Daima, right? Yeah, did he have the in the original one he had them under like it looks like he had like no sleep, bruv. When
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
doesn't
he-
have that
nah,
in
he
the
doesn't
Daima
have
one,
that
and
Daima,
I
no.
like that. You know, it made him look even more so different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it made him stand out even more.
Yeah, that was
And
cool.
and then on top of that as well, like I know you're complaining about the arms, right, looking weird, but I feel like that fits the whole concept of Super Saiyan 4 even more. You know why? Because it's meant for him to be looking more like the Great Ape. So and apes in general, like they have wham ass forearms, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it makes
I feel
sense.
like
Makes sense.
that it leans into that sort of concept a bit better.
Yeah, that's I'm quite
fair.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Um,
But I just don't like the red hair, man. I wish they kept the black hair. Anything else, I'm not too fussed. Like, but the eye thing would have been cool as well because I don't think they added that in this design. But yeah. Apart from that, like I think the design was.
So I think we can all agree we're excited to see what comes, but we just don't know.
It's literally up in the air right now. Like we don't know where the pieces are gonna land. That's the
real.
thing.
But I would love some more Dragon Ball. Like,
Oh, yeah.
high quality Dragon Ball would be.
Yeah,
fun.
man.
And do you know who I really
Here's a
would
question
love?
for you, fam.
Ooh.
I was gonna say like, do you know what I would really love?
Yeah.
For them to do as well, and for another character to integrate into the hopefully like the main core group would have been Broly.
He is. Well, you'll see.
Yeah, I'm guessing in superheroes he has some sort of massive role then.
You'll see.
All right, cool.
What are you saying, Joe?
How would you feel, yeah, if they continue Super 2, whatever they want to fucking call it, but it's superheroes animation?
Oh,
Question.
Because
how did you feel about the animation in the movie?
You know the animation's why I didn't watch it this long.
yeah.
That's
So when I
literally why
started,
I normally I've gone to watch Dragon Ball cinema for the last two. I watched Broly in cinema and I watched Frieza in cinema. I didn't watch this one because I was like I can't be bothered.
Oh.
I don't want to watch the graphics.
yeah.
But when I watched it, it was actually pretty good. The graphics was actually not a turn off. It was alright.
Can I ask you
I
this?
was very surprised myself.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this? Do you think that's because you watched it on at home? Do you think in the cinema it might have been a different experience for you?
I think it would have been similar.
Yeah?
I would enjoy the graphics still.
Okay.
So
It's that 3D kind of effect kind of thing that they have.
kind of
going.
CG but different. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's like in the middle, like
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Of
some
like
anime,
regular animation and then like CGI or whatever
Yeah,
you want to call it. Yeah.
yeah, like literally like across, not like a bit of this here and a bit of this there. Not like it's a mix.
Okay.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
some anime have done that and they've done it good. And I think what they did was good, but I don't think I'd want to see that all the time, to be honest. But I wouldn't be mad. They did do that.
Yeah, okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because I knew that this was there, right? Yeah, to a certain extent. Because like I said, I've only seen bits on like Instagram reels and shorts and stuff like that,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and I thought it was whoever posted it. I thought they just fucked around and then did that.
No,
I
no, it was
genuinely
like
thought that,
It was
and I
like
didn't
that.
realize it was like that. As in the actual movie was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fully, bro. Fully.
I don't mind that, but like it just depends on how it's done. So I guess if you liked it as well, like I guess they've done it fairly well because
Yeah, they
I
did.
love the original, just like classic anime drawing and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can go wrong with doing it like that at all.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think we've seen it, to be honest, go wrong a lot of times. I lie. but that's more the animation side.
That's more to do with the actual animators, like the production team or whoever it is that's making the movie or anime. Yeah.
So, but yeah, hopefully when it comes back, when it's gonna come back.
Yeah, it has to.
We just don't know when.
Yeah, it has to, bro.
Yeah.
Right, so I'll accept that.
Pull up on them.
I think it's time for us to move into our main topic.
Main evento.
So I guess recently there's been a lot of conversation between, I guess, difficulty and being invited to new people, new players into different fan bases. And one of my questions was to you guys, like, do games need to be welcoming to newer players?
Can I quickly ask, right? Yeah, because this was the first thing when you mentioned that to us in our group chat, right? Yeah, was what do you mean by that? Because you also mentioned difficulty, right? And we've established this in the last episode of the podcast that difficulty doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a welcoming game.
That's true.
Do you get what I mean?
That's true.
So when you say welcoming, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I was kind of pondering on that a little bit.
Because when you said that, like I was a little bit stumped in terms of how am I going to answer this, because it's a very broad term. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because if you're relating it to difficulty, right? The first thing I would say, and you said this as well, because you were the one who actually brought it up, right? Yeah, and I thought it was a great point, which is Elden Ring. Like, look at how many people played that game.
Yeah, man.
Right? And it's fucking hardcore hard from the start. Like, you could literally die just like that from... Like, I think a lot of people struggled on the fucking first sort of tutorial boss. Do you know what I mean? They spent a lot of hours just trying to get past
it definitely did keep people from playing the game.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
The first boss will destroy you.
But it didn't deter them from trying. Do you know what I mean? Like, people still, even though they were stuck on that first tutorial boss for a long ass time, it didn't stop them from playing. You know what I mean? Like, and someone who I want to use as an example is probably the biggest streamer in the world right now, because he made this a fucking big is production cinema kind of thing for him to play this game, which was Kai Cenat. He fucking, bro, I watched a lot of that like him streaming this, right? He was arse, bruv, and no hate on him, because I love the dude. Like,
shout out my guy.
Yeah, I love the dude. He's hilarious. He's like one of my favorite streamers to watch, right? And but he was.
I've seen a couple clips of that of him raging on TikTok and that. So I hear you.
Bro. I mean, because I'm gonna mention probably the most well-known fight in the game, which is Millennia, right? Yeah.
I keep hearing about this,
bro. Watching him play that, was something else. Like, I've never laughed at watching a stream so much in my life, because the way he was getting frustrated was great just to watch. It was pure entertainment. So, like, again, going back to what we were saying is that, like, what do you mean about welcoming? Because I don't think difficulty necessarily will deter a person from playing a game. I mean, obviously it will for some people. For some people, definitely it will. But it doesn't mean that it will deter everyone from playing a game. Especially brand new games. Because, like, I don't think he'd ever played a Souls game, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like, a Souls-style game. Fair, he'd never had played one. But he still played it. And whether it's just for content or whether it's for him to actually enjoy the game or whatever, right? He still played it. And he still tried. And he still carried on playing the game. Even though I think he died, like... And again, this is for Millennia. I think he died like near 300 times before like, definitely I know 200 times before he actually he got help from someone, in the sense of, like, sort of explaining to him
kind of thing.
To be able to beat Millennia. It happened on the stream, I'm fairly sure.
It would make sense. Make sense.
So what do you mean by that?
All that.
Yeah, that was
what you mean by that, fam?
That was like 5 minutes.
Sorry, I went on a bit of
It's fine. Well, the difficulty can definitely be a part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Which we already talked quite a lot about.
Yeah. It's because we were quite passionate about difficulty, especially for Wilds and that.
Yeah. No, because, I mean, difficulty is an interesting one, because some people feel like, I don't know. It's not just people in general. I feel like some developers, definitely when they want their games to be more mainstream, it's very common for them to make things a bit more easier.
Let's be honest, it's just easier. It is. Like, there's no other way of putting it.
Pokemon's a big one.
Yeah.
Back in the past, you know. And it's a bit of a weird way for me to... It's a weird thing for me to understand of making a game easier to invite newer people to play a game. Because in that instance, you're kind of changing the aspects of what your game is previously known for. I mean, it depends on how much easier they make it or not. It really depends.
Agree.
So I've never really been a fan of that aspect of games changing in general to invite someone new in. They can add new things, but if you're going to change the core of a game, one example, and I want to when it comes to like complex games, Endless is a complex game. We've been playing Endless. Endless is like a strategy game. If you guys know Civilization, it's similar to Civilization, where you're building these whole empires, you're building these ships, you're going to war, you're building civilization, technology, all this stuff. It's very complicated, and for newer fans, for newer people in general, if they want to play the game, they have to learn a lot. And it probably is going to deter a lot of people from playing the game. But if they dumbed it down, I wouldn't be as interested in the game anymore.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Okay.
Is that wrong? Do you think it's right for a company to do that? And do you think well, how do you feel about that?
You know what, yeah, that's like two sides to the coin, yeah. You got the fan side and you got the business side.
Yeah.
Right? And the sad thing about today's age is businesses just care about profits, bro.
We established
they
this,
just
didn't we?
care about making money, because if they really care about the core fans, they'll be listening to the fans and what they want. But they're not listening to the fans, they listen to the shareholders. We need to get more people on these games, bruv. How can we get these people on these games? And it's easier to get casual gamers in who might buy it, play a little bit, because all they need you to do is that initial purchase. We got your money, it's done. You know what I mean? So do I think it's right from the fan side of things? Nah, man. Definitely not.
But from a business point of view, though.
Yeah, business point of view. Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's get this money, bro.
I mean, Wilds is a good example of that, because we were talking about this on the stream yesterday, where Capcom had a specific number that they had to meet by the end of the financial year. They were quite far off from it before Wilds came out, and what feels like they rushed the release of it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining of that, because I wanted to play the game, obviously, and everything. And then the timing of it was amazing as well, because it synced very well for me. So, like, once the game came out, so I actually sort of saw the numbers. I think they sold over, including PC, and PC is where it actually sold the most units.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 million was including PC?
In total, yeah.
Okay.
8 million was in total, right? And those numbers helped them literally, I think, reach the exact number, or in and around that exact number that they needed in terms of profit for the financial year.
Yeah.
So in terms of businesses, like in from that aspect, like all game developers are gonna do that.
Yeah, no,
they're just going to.
Indie developers
cannot
afford to.
That's
why I think indie developers are going to be the best game developers in the end.
Yeah.
Because these bigger corporations, no matter what, the shareholders will be whispering in the ear, do this, do that, and it's always going to dilute the premise of their games in the end.
Yeah. The experience that fans are going to.
It's just going to happen, and I think it's an unfortunate tragedy in gaming that. From what used to be, it used to be nerds making something because they want to.
Yeah,
now it's suits saying you need to make something because I want money.
Basically,
and it's just going to change everything. And it already has. Like microtransactions got added, and now it's general knowledge. Everyone wants them. Like they want them in the game. Everyone accepts them now. But before we used to rage at them.
Yeah,
people hated it. But now
what the fuck is this?
It's common nature. And they put them out in big games, $60 games, $70 games now, £65 games.
Bro, the fact that you can have normal, deluxe, super ultimate deluxe, like it's crazy to me, bro.
EA, you pay £100 to play a game 3 days early.
Yeah, like
EA are the worst with that. With you know what you said about the standard deluxe, all of that.
Oh, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Capcom have done that with
I
Wilds
know,
and
that's what
everything.
I'm saying.
But here's the thing with Capcom's version of this, is that it doesn't actually affect the gameplay. It's just more aesthetic stuff that they give us. Oh,
In a sense, so in the old games, you were able to change how you looked all the time for free. Now you have to pay for it.
oh yeah, there's that
so
coin
it's
thing or
like,
whatever it is. Yeah.
What the fuck?
No, but when I say okay, so here's the other thing though. And this is not me trying to defend Capcom or anything like that. But you know the standard, deluxe, and whatever ultimate and all of that stuff, right? Yeah, you can still purchase those add-ons afterwards anyway.
Yeah.
If you just buy the standard anyway.
Yeah.
So in that sense, then yeah. But like EA, for example, right? Yeah, with FIFA, like they do the gold edition or whatever it is that they do.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
them things.
Like again, you can go and buy those same things, right? After even if you buy the standard version, yeah, but I think it costs more if you buy it separately.
It's going to be the same for
Yeah.
Capcom.
Is it the
it's going
same?
to cost more.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's
Because
Scale-
okay, so what
scales
was
of
the
economics, bro.
what was the original what was the price for the original? I think it was like what £60 or for me I think it was about £64 or something because I had to buy it through the
£60 on Steam right now.
yeah. So I had to buy it
That's the
off of
general.
the PlayStation Store as well, and I think the deluxe version with everything was about 70 something pound.
I don't know all the maths, and I don't know the in particular
Yeah.
maths of all the
Okay.
particular things, but I can
Yeah.
guarantee it's going to be more.
Yeah.
Buy them separately.
Yeah,
Okay, fair.
100%. Or
Yeah,
else,
yeah, yeah.
why would you promote this?
No, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Like it's the thing is, it's a slippery slope, and the slope has already been slipping because we literally 10, 15 years ago we already talked about microtransactions,
Yeah.
and now they're a norm. Before people say, "Oh, it's fine, it's in free games." Now it's in big games. that
Everything.
are
Yeah.
full price. Games have even gone up. Microtransactions are still in the game. It's going to be a trend, and it's going to keep excelling as long as business people are in the gaming world, and they're going to be because it's the biggest media out there.
Right now,
So
for real.
unfortunately, it's going to affect games. To
Yeah,
what
man.
extent, it's hard to know, but it's just going to keep getting worse.
a quick sidebar as well, yeah, because we're talking about the business aspect of it. You know what I heard and saw, and I can't believe what I was hearing and seeing, right?
What?
Is that apparently they're gonna start adding like ads in the middle of games.
No.
Some companies try that.
Yeah.
Ubisoft tried that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They try that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Like so, for example,
slippery slope.
yeah.
Can't be having that
No,
shit.
so for example, right, yeah, EA, like I've heard are considering this as well.
Yeah,
right,
they
yeah?
are. They are
Yeah.
So
bruh.
so imagine, yeah, you're playing obviously FIFA being one of their bigger titles, right? Yeah, imagine, bro, you're playing FIFA, and bro, if you're playing FIFA now, yeah, it's like it's pointless anyway because like it's the same shit and it has been for. But imagine you're playing FIFA, bro. You paid 70 odd quid, right, or $80 or however much it is, right? Yeah, for this game, and this is just the base game. This is not even with like
Extra
the
shits.
yeah,
Yeah, for
right.
real.
And then in the middle of a loading screen, you get an advert pop up, bro.
That's crazy.
Do you know
bro.
how mad that is?
That is
See,
actually crazy.
This is the thing, JR. It's crazy now.
But it could
5
become
years
the
time,
norm.
10 years
It
time,
It
it's
could
gonna be
become
norm.
the norm.
And there's going to be people younger than us who are defending it because it's
Yeah.
what they know. As
Yeah,
things are
yeah.
going now,
That's true,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
It's the
it's
same.
crazy.
Gotta promote my business, dog.
Oh
Yeah.
man, when I heard that, yeah, literally, I didn't know how to react.
Bro, I'm
My first
bro.
reaction was like, "Fuck no."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
like,
I'm thinking. Like,
why
what?
am I gonna be paying Why am I gonna be paying for a game about £80? Because by that
will be
point,
80.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It will
Because
be
by
80.
that point, the games were probably gone up to that price mark,
For real.
right? The standard edition, and then I'm gonna fucking see an ad in the middle of it, and
crazy.
not just once, bruv, but every time there might be a loading screen.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
So
that's mad.
in that
thing
instance,
is-
companies might
Yeah.
purposely put in load screens for you to see more of them. They're gonna
Yeah,
find ways.
exactly.
These companies always do because they know
Yeah.
they want more money. It's just
And the
how it
thing is there, like and I think like FIFA is a good example of this. Like in FIFA now, yeah, there's bare ads anyway because in real life football, you know, along the sides you have
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
bare
yeah.
ads there already.
Facts, actually.
And then you're telling me you're advertising already in the game,
No, you wanna
right?
add an extra layer to it.
Exactly.
Mad.
So I just
Kinda
when I
mad.
heard that, bro, yeah, I like my mind actually just I didn't know how. Like this is how I felt. I didn't know how to react to it. It's crazy.
Can't believe it.
and see, this is coming back to. I guess I can tie this into Monster Hunter because that's what we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
Monster Hunter changes game to game. The people who said the people who enjoy something at one time, what it might be now, they probably don't enjoy it anymore because it's changed so much. The way that you guys feel now, the newer people who are playing games now, they're gonna accept that because it's all they know. And it's in the same vein. Things are gonna change, and the more things change, even if it's for good or bad, older people are gonna be left out, and they're not gonna feel happy.
I guess a good example of that is from the stream yesterday, literally again, where we were talking with my boy AJ, about longsword. Shout out AJ, love for the bro. How we were talking about longsword. Obviously, his experience of longsword was from World.
Yeah, it's different from my experience of World.
Yeah, and then your longsword experience is from 4.
From 4. Oh, for you.
Okay, yeah. So that was the first time you used it, and you even said that you loved like using longsword at that time.
I was surprised how much I used it back in the game when I checked. I used it a lot.
Yeah.
And Greysword too. Greysword was my second most used weapon in that game.
Oh, I swear.
Yeah, it's crazy.
My thing, bro.
Yeah.
I think after Bow, I'm gonna have to pick up some. I'm trying to play every that like yourself.
Yeah,
anyway, going back to what we were talking about, it just, bro, that I'm going back to the ad thing. It just, it's
the thing is, the thing I wanted to highlight is people. They don't need to agree, but they need to at least understand why people feel the way they feel. Yeah. Because eventually it's going to come around to you. Eventually, maybe in 10 years or whatever, you're going to feel the same as someone else felt because things are going to keep changing. Yeah. And things that you liked back then are not going to be the same now. So it makes sense. Yeah. Like, you don't have to agree with it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes.
You know, on the other side of that, like, I feel like if a game was the same every single time with no change, we would still complain.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So, okay, if we take the business side away and we add the creative part into it, like, the developers have a hard time in that sense. Like, keeping a game similar, trying to keep people happy while trying to innovate on top of that at the same time. And like, I know Monster Hunter's a great example because we've got 6 generations of it. Like, I mean, I watched this guy, he went back as he was playing the beta for Wilds. He was like, let me play all the Monster Hunters, right? The main lines. Right.
What, and like what, the story or like
he wasn't gonna play like the full game. He was gonna play enough to kind of get a gist of it. Okay. And it was just mad to me, like, if you're a first gener, you're attacking with the fucking analog stick.
Yeah, we did that in Try as well.
Oh, swear down.
Yeah, the analog stick attack was crazy.
Using that to attack.
I can't imagine how the fuck that would work, bro.
It barely works.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you were using the analog stick, but even then, like, I just can't imagine how it would work, bro.
I'm not defending that. It barely worked. In 3U, they fixed that, so I was happy.
Okay, fair.
I was happy.
So,
quick question: which Monster Hunter were we playing? You know, when we went to Dam?
You did that every time. You know?
I know, because I always forget which one it is.
It was for you.
Okay.
For you, yeah, right. Yeah. But yeah, it's you got those kind of things as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like they're in a hard place, man. They're in a hard place. They got to try and be creative. They got to try and please the core audience, and they got to please their shareholders. Like, there's a lot on their plate. A lot. We don't give them enough credit sometimes.
Can I be but the one thing though, right? Yeah, and I know obviously we won't know the ins and outs of the business side of it, right? Yeah, but they're all linked, because if Capcom, right, yeah, they please their fans, whether it's the new ones or the core group as well, right, yeah, the domino effect, the chain effect is that it will please the shareholders, because if you please the fans, they're gonna buy the game, they're gonna play the game, and so forth, and which will then make the company more money, which will then please the shareholders, right? Am I wrong about that?
No, you're true. True.
Yeah. So, even though I know you're saying that they're in a tough position, right? I can't see how what I've just said they can't do.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I mean?
We've seen it in many games. We just talked about Elden Ring. We've seen it. They kept the core. They expanded on the core, but the core is still there. Games have done this, and I mean, it's their job to figure this out. That's what they get paid for.
No, it's true.
It's literally what they do.
Yeah.
So it should be hard. It should be. Because it's what is there. It's their job, unfortunately. Fortunately, not unfortunately. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So when you asked us that question about the difficulty button, right? Yeah. You know, the first thing that popped into my head was Kingdom Hearts. Right? And I think I don't know if Final Fantasy does this as well, right? Yeah. Because I just can't remember. But with Kingdom Hearts, right? Yeah, you know when you finish the story, right? Obviously, there's still a load of other shit that you can do in the game as well, in it, right? But then they also add that critical mode, where the game is genuinely a lot harder. I mean,
I can't remember. Only Kingdom Hearts I played is the DS one.
no, but even 352
Yeah,
8 Days, the one with Roxas.
Roxas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even that, no, in that as well. Yeah, in that as well. There's a critical mode. I'm so sure of it. I'm like, because they've done this in every Kingdom Hearts game I played. Like,
unless I didn't figure it out, but you should complete that whole game. I loved that game. Bro.
Yeah.
Game was...
And then again, it might not have, because it was a long time ago for me as well when I played that game as well. But like I know in 2 they had that mode.
Yeah.
And then in 3 they have that mode as well, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to remember because I haven't touched that game in God knows how long. Like, if I want to actually, I should download it, play it again, because I've got it in my library, innit? So it's there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But they have that and what I was thinking was, when I thought of, obviously, the question, well, when you asked me the question, I thought, okay, so they have that, right? Yeah. So why couldn't games like just, again, this is just the difficulty. It's that, how we were saying earlier in the last episode, where there's the difficulty mode where you just add a setting where something similar along those lines. So not necessarily you having access to changing the difficulty straight away, but let's say, for example, in Monster Hunter, right? Yeah. Once you, let's say, reach Hunter rank 100, right? Then you have the option of making the game a bit harder. Because you've played the game enough now where you know the patterns of the monsters and how they move and things like that. And then you just flip the switch where it makes it a bit harder, where the monsters are a little bit more aggressive. And even by doing that as well, yeah. So, the one thing we all sort of were speaking about yesterday on the stream was, this is just an Artfeld simulator. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So having that switch to make the game a bit more difficult will also bring back the relevance of those monsters that we don't fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you'd be able to fight those monsters that are a bit more, aren't a challenge.
It's not just the end monsters. And
exactly.
Unfortunately, that's what things tend to be right now.
Yeah.
It's literally just the end monsters.
Yeah.
The beginning ones don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think in Rise, like, and I'm not talking about the difficulty here. Not Rise, in Sunbreak, right? And I'm not again, not the difficulty.
Say something about that.
Okay, go for it.
Not the difficulty part, but in terms of the relevance of the monsters, right? And fighting them, they kind of fixed that by making all of the weapons have a final sort of, I can't remember what the rarity level was.
I think it was 10.
10, right? Yeah. So they made all the weapons for each monsters have a rarity 10 weapon, which then made the monsters a little bit more relevant in terms of going and fighting them. Because if you want to use their weapons at rarity 10, which it would be viable to use them as well. Like, it's not like you have to follow the meta and obviously you don't have to follow the meta.
Is that the same in Wilds though?
It is the same in Wilds now. They've added that into Wilds 2 now.
Yeah.
What, all the monsters have?
Yeah, they have
maxed
now.
out,
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't, because I haven't gone around making all the weapons and stuff like that just
that's
yet.
your problem, man.
I mean, I'm still playing the game and farming things
That's
out. That's not really a problem. I'm happy with that.
Okay, cool. It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, in terms of difficulty, I think that would be a good way of doing it. Like, just having a critical mode, having access to that.
Yeah.
After a certain stage, because obviously in Kingdom Hearts you only have access to that after you finish the story, which isn't ideal.
I want to come to what Junior had to say.
One
Last thing I want to say. A lot of games do allow you to change difficulty at the start.
Yeah.
No, it's just the concept of, like we were saying about Monster Hunter, like how the earlier monsters kind of become irrelevant. But in my mind, I'm thinking, like, isn't the whole point of Monster Hunter, going out, hunting these motherfuckers, getting their shit, upgrading your weapon. Yeah. So as you upgrade your shit, the monsters that you fought before are going to be weaker anyway because you upgrade your shit throughout the game. So that trend is just, I feel like that's going to be a standard Monster Hunter behavior.
Yeah.
I don't think earlier monsters are going to be strong in that sense unless you maybe take an approach like Rise, where you have that whole anomaly situation where they got levels and they keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. But just the base of what I think Monster Hunter is going out, hunting monsters, getting their material, crafting weapons, making them better over time. Like, it might be. This is coming from a noob, by the way. Challenging with the later monsters, but using the armor that you've made with the later monsters, you're gonna whoop the shit out of the earlier monsters.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just the standard shit.
that's expected.
You know what I mean?
On the way, what most people do now, and even newer players, because they're not taught how to do this, is because the games don't incentivize making different weapons as much, because the monsters die so easily. You don't need to go out of your way to play, okay, this monster's weak against water, I need the water weapon. This monster's weak against lightning, I need the lightning weapon. You don't need to. You can just, okay, I'm going to go raw the way, because raw is strong enough, it's fine. Just go through the game, get to the end, make the armor. That's literally how people play the game.
Yeah.
Literally how
for real.
the end game sets, most of the game is irrelevant to them. But if you see how I played, I literally made old weapons along the way with so many different things. I made so many different low rank armor still because I wanted to test around. And I got to the end of the game so late, while all the other streamers were at the end making videos. I was so late because I was still playing the game.
Enjoying the game. Yeah, you were playing the game for what it had to offer.
And that's always how I played.
Yeah.
But the game is easier, or at least me. And the game monsters die so quickly, I never feel like I need to really go out the way, even though that's what I do anyway. It's less of a need to.
No.
It was more of a you wanted to rather than you needed to.
Yeah. And I think this was a big problem actually when it came to Iceborne. I don't know if you know about Iceborne, and when it came to Elatron and Fatalis, those two fights are so much harder than anything else in the game.
100%, bro.
When noobs got to that level, because the game was much easier, when they got to the level, they didn't understand why it's so difficult. They raged and downvoted the game so much.
You know what's funny? Yeah, you saying that guy that I was watching, that was playing all the Monster Hunters, he was basically saying his first actual Monster Hunter was Worlds, right? But he jumped on Worlds late. He was watching someone streaming or whatever. And then he's like, you know what? I need to play this game. Iceborne was out, and like you might have to tell me if I'm missing something in it. So apparently there's a weapon set or armor set or whatever that let you power through low rank.
Yeah.
But when he got to high rank, he struggled because he didn't actually understand.
That was in Rise and Sunbreak
how
as well.
To play the game. Yeah, the Guardian set.
Yeah.
That is a gameplay problem. They're literally not teaching people how to play the game.
Nah, they're allowing you to skip to get to the Iceborne stage.
But once you get there, you don't have to play the game. You just get frustrated and you want to put down the game even faster.
Yes.
And that's what
I think that's such a big problem that they created that problem.
Yeah, they created
that problem for no reason.
But they don't realize it, and I think they did it a lot with Elatron because they didn't teach people you need to play elemental weapons to fight Elatron because raw weapons do not work on him. You can't beat him. So like a lot of people went to him using raw because that's what they did.
With Elatron in this game is it's like he comes in there's two stages basically with him, right? And the fight will either start with him in his fire form or in his ice form. Yeah. So dependent on which form the hunt begins in, right? Because the first time you fight him, it's guaranteed it's at the fire form in the story mode, in the story of it, right? But then afterwards, you have the quest to go out. There's two quests for him. One where you start with the fire form, or one where you start with the ice form. And dependent on which one he starts on would determine which weapon you take. Yeah. Because the whole concept of the fight is you have to get him out of his elemental mode, right, before he does his ultimate.
Okay.
Because the ultimate,
I think you remember you telling me about this.
Because the ultimate is like literally, it's called judgment, bruv, or judgment of something.
Escanor's judgment.
Yeah, Escanor's judgment.
I remember you going into this.
Bro, literally, because that move would just kill you.
So a lot of news went into it. They died, and they get pissed. They put down a bad review. They don't play the game ever again. So they're literally doing a detriment to their own game by making the game easier, and at the end making it so hard that noobs don't even want to play in the first place. So it's literally nonsensical.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
So silly.
So adding difficulty just at the end doesn't do any good for your game design.
It should be. As you mentioned, it should be a gradual progression.
Yes, and that's why games like Elden Ring are very important. And there was something else I want to say, because as soon as you play the game, you know the difficulty. There's no denying the game is going to be hard. You need to learn it now or give up. It teaches you straight away. And if you can get past that, then you know, okay, I'm here. I'm going to keep on learning.
You're locked in it.
You're expecting it.
True.
But in Monster, you're not expecting it.
Nah.
You're expecting it to kind of be easy because of the first monsters. And then when it gets too hard, you get frustrated and drop it.
Because the other thing is as well, like, and Elden Ring being a really good example of that, is that any difficult game, like you feel way more accomplished when you overcome this challenge as well. And that's what a game should make you feel. When you're playing it.
100%.
Like, what's the point of fucking playing a game where you can literally do it eyes closed? Like, some people obviously get enjoyment out of that. Fair enough, yeah. But it's not a long lasting feeling. Like, you're gonna play the game, you enjoyed it, yeah, but you're not gonna remember it. If you fucking play a hard game and you overcome it, like, let me give you an example. Again, I'm gonna go back to Kingdom Hearts. Bro, Sephiroth being a hidden boss. Fam. I still have trauma from that game, bro. And not even in a way where like,
he's down on that game, cuz.
Bro, and I've got that game to play as well on PlayStation as well. You know that, because they have the remakes and that. Like, I'm telling you, like, whenever you are able to beat a hard boss or whatever, a hard game, like, you'll not forget it, and you'll always remember about it, and you'll proudly talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so going back to having difficulty.
I think that is also like a personal character issue as well. Because if you get frustrated quickly,
then
you're gonna dash the controller. I used to be that when I was younger. I'm dash the controller. Man, fuck this game.
But that's for kids. Well, like, understandable, because for a kid, like, it's.
No,
I think
I'm talking about if you've got if you generally get frustrated easily, you're not gonna be enjoying.
Okay, yeah, no,
you're just not. It's just just who you are. Unfortunately,
when I was a kid, that was a similar situation, but I loved that I was getting my ass kicked, and when I beat it similar to you, I was having a good time. It was great for
like
me.
Like I don't play video games just for the enjoyment. I want to be challenged. Like, that's the whole point. Like, my way.
That was different things, bruv.
What do you mean?
Some people just want enjoyment. I feel like that's that whole casual category.
Well, yeah, but like,
again,
and that comes back to.
Let me just play easy.
That comes back to my question. Games shouldn't be for everyone, because not all games are for casuals.
No, exactly.
No, facts.
No, 100%.
I'm not going into Sims expecting it to be Dark Souls or something. I don't
yeah.
That would be stupid. If I did that, I would look brain dead. Yeah, honestly, I don't understand why in bigger games, like harder games, people expect it to be easy.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. Like, I'm not playing Barbie expecting it to be hard. I don't.
I'm not playing Animal Crossing
Mario expecting it to be Zelda. I don't do that.
It's the same thing, yeah.
But when it comes to this, people are so I don't know. I can't comprehend it. I actually can't comprehend it, because anything else, if you said that, you look stupid. You would actually look so stupid. I don't get it. Actually, don't get it.
Can I be real? Yeah. I do think Capcom, like, and guys, just to sort of give you a bit of an understanding, the reason why Nova's obviously proposed this question is because of the last conversation from the podcast about how we had reviews of Monster Hunter Wilds being very easy, obviously, and then also why we're referencing Wilds as in this conversation a lot, because that's where sort of the question came from, right? So I think Capcom did really well to a certain extent with Rise and Sunbreak with the difficulty.
Yeah, I think the difficulty was good.
Yeah,
the only thing I would say wasn't as good. I don't think it got the bar wasn't high enough, quick enough. But it did excel at a good rate. Yeah. It just wasn't hard enough where it needed to be.
Up until the end. Up until the end,
I would say, when you first fight Magnum Marlowe, I'm kind of shitting my pants, though. Especially when you hear the jet engine and he's got no engine on him.
No, but the thing is that, like, when you are getting to Magnum Marlowe, right, the difficulty was going up and at a really nice pace where it's like, you know it's getting harder, and you know that it will get harder even after that, but you're not deterred from wanting to progress, because you know everything you've done up to that point has been hard, but you've overcome it by playing the game the way it should be played. Do you know what I mean? Right? And even at the end, right, with Risen Shagaru, Risen Valstrax, and Primordial Malzeno, right? Like, people are still trying to farm those monsters because they enjoyed the fight because of how hard it was. Like, I've seen, obviously, speedrunners being speedrunners because they're, like, just fucking pros, bro, when it comes to these games like that, right? But even speedrunners at some point where I saw, like, making comments how, like, yo, this shit was difficult. But they never stopped and gave up. Do you know what I mean? Like, they carried on so that... And obviously, for speedrunners, their ultimate goal is to try and get the quickest time. Like... Yeah. And they did that, like, and but like, going back to... I want to
start wrapping up in a bit, but I want to say two more things. You wanted to say something as well.
Yeah, it was just about the whole the progression thing, right? From GU days, bro. Because I remember every time we go to a hunt, I'm like, we're hunting this? Nah, there's no way. And I'm thinking, this is the baddest monster that we fought, right?
And then there'll be the next one after that.
Comes. I'm like, nah, we can't do this. There's no way. But the hunt, I'll never forget. Yeah, it was one of our more recent GU hunts. Yeah, because you were shitting your pants as well, fam. Hyper golden Raffian, hyper super Raffalos.
That's one's
bro.
crazy.
We used all our potions, right? This guy had to give me potions, right? And then we turned and we're like, yo, we actually need to go round the map, grab ingredients, and
make more. And make more
potions to continue fighting, bro.
You could not imagine doing that in the new games.
No,
that's no way.
You can't do that. Well, you can't imagine that because we have access to camps now.
That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point.
Like, I still remember that shit.
Even then, even with camps, I still can't imagine myself running out of potions. I actually can't. No cap. I literally cannot.
That was crazy.
So, in this game,
So I know people say the old games, you've just gotten better. I played the old games and I'm getting my ass kicked.
Do you know what?
So I don't think that's true. From a personal reference, you've been there. I got my ass kicked,
bruv.
Can I ask you?
This guy has to farm.
It's the first time I've ever done that. I'm like, this is crazy.
You know what? Obviously, I know
insane.
you guys have always encouraged me to go and play GU. Right?
Man.
Everyone needs to play GU, honestly.
Can I be honest, right?
Facts,
You know what? There's a few things in terms of quality of life, right? That I will 100% would have gone and played if they had this, right? And it's not camps or like being able to restock and things like that. I don't give a shit about any of that. Like if it's part of the game like that, right? I will accept that.
Yeah.
Right. My thing that I would just want in terms of for me to actually appeal to me to play the game even more so is mainly literally is just being able the movement in the game, like because I'm so used to obviously World being my first game, right? Yeah, like the movement in the game and how it is. So like, and I'm not gonna lie, right? Yeah, the one thing that really does put me off, yeah, is I have to stand still to then drink the potion. Like that really makes it really weird for me. Like, and it's just the way I feel when I'm playing the game, and I don't know how else to explain it, but saying weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, I
was pondering on that, and I was thinking to myself, I feel like.
And again,
maybe it's a balance thing because in GU you can run out the zone.
Yeah.
Literally run out the zone.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas probably in Worlds, that monster's gonna chase you for a little bit.
Oh no, it's not even a little bit, bro. He'll still chase you.
Chase you.
If you're within the line of sight of it, it's chasing you.
So they probably thought, okay, let me allow these people, let them drink while they're going, right? But it's just your mindset when you're playing that game, knowing fully well I can run out. I remember when
quick question when you said that
Valstrax real quick.
Yeah.
Like when this guy's warning, he's doing that move. I'm running out the map.
Okay.
I'm running out the map straight.
So my quick question is just that. So let's say for example you're saying how you can run out the area.
Yeah.
And then drink your potion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the monster not follow you?
Not out of the area. It will stay in that area.
No.
It will just stay in that area.
Yeah.
All right. Because now that I've played Chargeblade in this game, right, it's a little bit more reminiscent to Chargeblade in GU because of the way it works.
Okay.
Right? Because you can't access SAED. I mean, there's no SAED in GU, I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think there is. No.
It's only the AED. The singular one, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
So, and it's more, this Chargeblade is more reminiscent to that because in World and like, so Worldborn, Risebreak, the main playstyle of Chargeblade was SAED spam.
But now you have to do AED into SAED.
Yeah.
Or there's some ways to get into SAED, but you need to do perfect parry.
Yeah, so there is SAED that you can go straight into, but it's locked behind certain mechanics that you have to do to be able to use it. And the main mechanic that you can do to get into that move is perfect guarding or guard pointing, which in my eyes, right, is pretty much the same thing. Like the only difference between the two is if you perfect guard, you don't flinch and there's no delay before you do the move. While with guard point is if you guard point, the big advantage of guard point is when the monster makes contact with you, when you do that guard point, you do a little bit of damage, and whatever effect, like whatever status or element, will determine what the effect of that contact is as well.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you do the move.
Oh, no.
That's the thing. Anyway, but yeah, so after playing Chargeblade in Wilds, it is making me think about going back and playing GU a little
Fam,
bit.
just shout us, man. I'm there.
Come.
Yeah, I mean,
once I'm bored with Wilds, I probably will go to GU and play that.
there's literally a meme going around that like everyone they play World, they get through World, they realize there's not enough content, they go back to GU, they realize GU's peak. Same for Rise, same for Wilds. Everyone's doing it. Every in between, they go back to GU and they go, "Wow, this game's crazy."
Obviously, because I haven't played GU like that. Literally, when I say, I think I've done like 3 hunts. Yeah. One of them being with you both, right?
When you run out of content in Wilds,
I think I will probably go and play GU for sure.
CFL.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Same for all of you guys. Right now, GU's on 75% off in the UK and US, so pick it up and play.
I mean, I've got it. So
regret it. Trust me.
Last thing I want to say, because before we wrap up, is there's this one thing I've watched recently from a developer. So some YouTuber did a video and he was showing a developer, and one of their philosophies was they want people to die in their first fight. No, you look at me. It's the way.
Do you know what it is? It's because the way he said it, and then there's a little pause there, and then I was like, wait, hold on a minute.
In the game, they want them to die in the game on the first boss. When they come to the first boss, they want them to understand the mechanics of the game and that the possibility of death is possible, and they need to be able to develop. So they don't want them to beat a boss in the first time, maybe not the second time, but the third time. That's what the sweet spot for them to defeat the first boss. Okay. So they can kind of understand the mechanics of the boss. They can understand how to play the game, and they understand that the game will challenge you as you go along. I think a lot of common games these days, the games are very willing to allow people to get through a lot of the game without having much challenge. Our boy Frizzles, this is his first real Monster Hunter game.
Yeah.
He's asking me, why am I not kiting? Why am I not dying? I'm getting through the game. He's wondering where the challenge is, and this is his first Monster Hunter game.
And the thing is as well, with Harris is that, bro, my man is the biggest shit talker I know. One of the biggest shit talkers, and I love him for that because he makes me laugh so much because of what he says, right? Yeah, and he's been like he's mocked Monster Hunter because of just the way we talk about the game. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then for him to now play his first proper Monster Hunter game and say that it's so easy. It's really disappointing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm like, he's finished the game, he finished low rank, and he hasn't died. I'm like, damn, I thought he would at least die once. So I'm like, okay, play through high rank.
What did he use, by the way? What weapon did he use? I can't remember.
I don't actually know what he used. I need to ask him. Might be Sword Shield. It might be.
Okay.
Might need to ask him. Dual blades.
Because our other boy, Alessio has
Hammer.
Yeah. And he's thinking about using Charge Blade as well. Okay. So I said to him, just shout me whenever you want to know anything about it.
Yeah, so I think games need to be willing to make people suffer a bit. They need to understand as they go through the game there is a bit of struggle. And they need to learn so they can learn the mechanics.
Oh, that's true.
Because there's a lot of mechanics in Monster Hunter in general and games in general that you can just kind of go through and not even care about.
Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm dead. Yeah, I played before Wilds dropped. I played that new Avowed game.
Yeah.
What game?
Avowed on Xbox.
I didn't.
It's like a first-person RPG.
Yeah.
I know. Skyrim, like.
Pretty good, Pally.
What, the Dragon?
No.
The one that I showed you on the.
No, Avowed. It's called Avowed.
Oh, okay.
But I'll be dying in that shit, man. Like the bit that hurts me the most, like I'm getting there's like these goblin-looking shits, bruv. These man ganging up on me. I'm dead. I'm like, yo. Am I dead or is this game just hard? Like, what's going on? But it's kind of like what you man are saying. Like, it's kind of like, okay, I can't just rush into that camp thinking I'm going to murk them all. I got to think, I got to be strategic. It's pushing me to go beyond just pressing and spamming. Do you know what I mean? So I hear what you're saying. Because I actually enjoy that game. It's just Wilds took over and it's now in the background for the moment.
I've been seeing you do that in Ghost of Tsushima. You went in thinking you're the one. You got deaded in your first.
I've been watching that as well, you know.
I'm getting murked. I got murked so bad, one of the episodes,
The title of your recent episode, cracked me up, man.
Bro, if you been... My people know, man snitching on us.
He said the up, bro, man.
This guy was chatting so much shit to Lord Shimura, so much, and he snitched. That's the worst bit. But so I've been just playing that.
Guys, if no one's watched it, go watch that series. By the way, it's fucking funny, bro.
I've been mainly playing it on cam, right? so I haven't really took the time to play the game, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm sick, bro. Some right, come on, whoop these man. Just get sliced. Fucking arrow comes from somewhere. I'm dead. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me do some side missions off cam. Take a minute to figure out this game and understand what I got to do. Well, it wasn't until like the most recent episode that I done that I realized you get these skill, like your sword stance.
Okay.
And depending on the enemy that you're facing, you should actually change your sword stance because it benefits you to beat
Gives
that
you an
person.
advantage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was I doing that before? No, I'm just spamming the shit.
Let me tell you, if the game was easy, you wouldn't need to learn the sword
I
stance.
wouldn't. Not even. I'll just be fucking doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But because of that, I'm like, actually, you know what? Let me take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah, see, now you're having fun. That's the thing.
That's the thing. Like, so, a game like that is designed for you to learn all the different aspects of the game to be able to enjoy it.
For real.
Like and again, we're gonna always refer Wilds.
And another thing in particular in Wilds is capture quests.
Yeah.
Frizzles didn't even know what a capture quest was.
Oh my days.
Because the first capture quest is in high rank.
Yeah, Yankaku.
And he killed Yankaku and he was like, what the fuck is a capture quest? And I was like, damn, I realized they only do it in high rank. In the old ones,
they don't even introduce
your first quest. They teach you,
literally.
this is a capture quest.
How's the capture in it?
Yeah.
How the fuck did he fail that? Because they tell you to do it.
That's the thing. They don't really, because it's such a thing.
And the thing is, they even give you but the thing is that, I mean, obviously for us, we know where it is.
Yeah,
so when they mentioned it, we know what we needed to do.
Yeah.
But, bro, they make it so clear, though. They make it very clear. So I don't know how he failed that. Nah, brother, you're a smart guy. How are you not reading the English or listening to it?
I guarantee there's a lot of people who didn't pay attention and just did their usual and killed Yankaku. 100%.
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
100%.
That's a bit.
The game didn't
See, for
teach
that, it's a little bit questionable. I don't even think that's about being easy or whatever. Like, that,
no, it's not about that one's not about being easy.
Yeah,
but it's about the game teaching you the mechanics of the game.
Yeah, which is fair. But they do though. In that quest, they do tell you clearly that okay, so we need to capture. Like, I'm paraphrasing obviously the words that I said here, but they do tell you. Like, I remember it because Yankaku is in this game is the first time I'm seeing it. So when I saw obviously the cutscene where they go to the nest where they're all grouped up together, I was like, yo, this fucker looks alright. Like, I like the design and everything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Right? So I remember clearly, like, they mentioned it. So I don't know how the hell he did that, and I don't know why.
He might skip the cutscenes like I did.
Probably he did. Yeah.
And like you said, bruv, like,
no, but
capturing should be introduced technically really at the start, bruv.
Yeah, no, it should.
Gathering shits.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like.
But the thing is, part
of the game.
You know how you're saying, he might skip the cutscenes. It's not even in the cutscene, bruv. They tell you while you're hunting it. Like, when the skull appears, on the monster. Alma mentions it.
Yeah,
Alma mentions it. So I don't know how you can fail that. I'm sorry. Like, I know you're trying to defend these guys here in that sense, but
they chat bare in that game, fam.
No, but like, there's no
exactly what's going on.
Yeah, but you can turn that off. Like, there's no distraction.
Bro.
There's no distraction from you.
Think of Latron. Before you go to fight Latron, they literally have this whole sheet telling you the mechanics. Yeah. Most people don't read it because they never had to read anything before. They don't pay attention.
Yeah, but
the game has incentivized you not to really pay attention because you don't really need to.
Different. But that's different. You know why? Because that's a cutscene that you can skip. In this quest of capturing Yankaku is during the hunt. You're in the hunt.
But if you're not paying attention to dialogue, you never need to pay attention to anything really going on with what they're saying. What does that change?
It's a bit hard to avoid the sound, bro. It's a bit hard to avoid the sound when you're listening and playing the game.
It depends, bruv. Depends what you're paying attention to.
Yeah, because
if my man Frizzles was just focusing on murking the thing, then
that's what you do. When you pick the Latron quest, you get a whole damn thing.
That sounds like a skill issue,
how
bro.
to get. Yeah, it's
that sounds like a skill issue.
It's a skill issue because the game doesn't teach you about the skill as well.
But it was teaching you.
But it's a skill issue.
It's a skill issue. I'm not denying that. That's why I said it. But it teaches you. It's literally teaching you as you're going through the hunt.
What's that?
And I'm not trying to defend the game or anything like that, but it's such a simple hunt. And like, I was surprised that they said that it was going to be a capture hunt. I'll be real with you in that sense, right? Yeah. Because, but they teach you. They're literally saying to you, look, there's a shock trap in your supplies. Go pick that shit up. And they tell you that in advance as well. It's not like they tell you that last second during when the monsters got the skull. Like, they tell you that in advance during when the monster appears, after that cutscene of them sitting together all together and all of that shit, right? Yeah, they tell you there's a shock trap in your supplies. Go pick that up. There's trank bombs there, right? So you need to go and hunt the monster. They specify for you as well which Yankoku, because I remember you saying you weren't too sure which one you had to go and hunt. So you went and killed all of them.
No, that wasn't Yankoku.
Or wasn't it you?
No.
Who was it? Someone.
Hero Barry.
I wanted to kill them all, but
yes,
they
it was
didn't allow me to kill them all.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
As soon as I
yeah.
killed the main one, the rest just
disappeared. Yeah. Sorry, that's what that was. Yeah.
But that was the quest. I actually had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Most of the other ones in low rank, it wasn't.
Hirobami's design is cool as well. But anyway, going back to it, like they literally tell you, bro. So I don't know how you can fail that quest. I'm sorry, Faris, bro. Yeah, but you dropped the ball hard on that one.
Damn. You gonna make a short just for Faris on that one.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And at him, bro. At him. No, for real. Yeah. Put it into the Discord for us and we'll show him.
I'll send it to him directly. But with that, guys, I think we need to start wrapping up.
Yeah. I think we've been going for a while.
We have.
I mean, we can talk about this topic for so long. That's the thing.
Yeah, but hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast episode,
Yo, it started with a bang.
Yeah, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below of what you thought about the topics today, either about Nintendo, me and Shibz beef, or about Dragon Ball, and then now Monster Hunter, and not just Monster Hunter, just difficulty in general, about difficulty and some simplifications, and do games in general need to be inviting for new players, or do they also need to care about the original fan base? Because
also give us examples of what games have done difficulty well, because we would love to obviously know, because like it would give us a bit more context on what we would like to see in future games, not just Monster Hunter but in other games as well.
100%. Yeah, and check out our moments, our shorts. Also check out some of our review sessions. We do solo leveling, we do not Dragon Ball anymore, but we did do Dragon Ball, so check out some of those. Be Zero, and we're doing Daredevil too, so check them out. Player J, like you said, Ghost of Tsushima, check out 2 guys.
I know.
And we'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Peace out.